Oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. We are sitting here and we've been talking about this this entire time about like what it is that we're going to be doing tonight and other stuff like that. We have no idea. That's the good thing about this. We have no effing idea. So first off, before we say anything, hello everyone. I'm Steve Kraus, the creator of Evindale, and tonight is a game called Rise Against, featuring a rule system which has been in development for maybe all of 3 minutes. And tonight is an alpha test of it. We have no idea what it is that what we're going to see, but there are a couple people here that you may know. Over here to your right, of course, we have Raffle Chef Joshua. How are you, Raffle Iron?
Oh, I'm quite good, thank you.
Yes, so you're here. I'm so excited to be gaming with you, man.
I am very excited to see what's in store in this world, and it's many facets.
I know, especially in the 7th Age. This has like really not been explored too much, with the exception of a couple of games that we ran. One of which was a Caffeinated Vikings charity stream last year, and I'm looking forward to being able to do that again this year. We'll have to see. And to Joshua's right, we have Aaron. Aaron, my laundry. Hey. Did you freeze? You froze. Oh no, nope, you're back. Oh, you're back. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. You'll notice that these two people have their character names already here, and the ones down below do not have their character names. That's because today we're going to be creating those characters. But who is it that's creating characters? Well, underneath me, this player will be joining us at a future time. But we now move over, and of course, you guys know him from Crossroads and Chronicles of the Five, Lou Martinez. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
I've been transplanted into a different age.
Yeah, you have, man. Yeah, you absolutely have. And no red eye.
No red eye. No red eye. Not yet, unless some sand gets in there, and you know how grit, you know how grit do.
Yeah, exactly. And you may know him from constructing galaxies and planets and moons and all sorts of incredible illustrations. Our very own Space Viking 42. What's up, Matt?
Hey, not much. I'm really excited to be here.
This is fun, man. I'm really excited to have you guys here. So, so yeah, welcome to a planet that has no name. So first off, what exactly is the 7th Age? So we're going to go over all of this right now. Much of this, by the way, for those of you that are watching, we have no idea what to expect. No idea whatsoever. We're going to have to find out as we go, I suppose. Hold on. I'm going to kick up some background sound just in a moment. There we go. Okay. So the 7th Age is referring to the 7th Age of a dark fantasy universe known as Evindale. And as it had gone from like low fantasy into dark, or high fantasy into dark fantasy into low fantasy, and then finally into like the industrial era, finally people started heading out to the stars. And that is where the 7th Age begins. All the guilds that used to exist in our typical dark fantasy type of environment then turned into businesses, or rather into companies, and those companies then formed conglomerates, and mergers were made, etc. Governments over the course of time had begun to be had started to be privatized, even until finally a great we can call it a schism in all things. War broke out, and what ended up happening was a single world government. So we now skip ahead. That world government is now known as the Syndicate. They care nothing for anyone. Now, the elves, the dwarves, and the orcs, and all that other kind of stuff that typically exists in a fantasy universe don't exist here. Instead, each of you have been given a JPEG in the Discord. If you check that out, and I believe some of the mods do we have that? I don't know if we can't really post a JPEG here, can we? I don't know if we can post it. No, I need to host it somewhere. Either way, you will notice in the upper right corner of that I'm such an idiot. I'm running a stream. I can put it here. I will in a second. It's fucking digital. I could just pop it up on the screen. I'm such an idiot. You'll notice that there are
We
certain...
have the technology.
We do, I know. Oh, see above. Hold on. Or below. Where? Oh! Hey, oh, holy crap. Look at that. Well, there you go. There's the rules. There's the setup. This is the very document that had been given out to the players. So that's there. Anyway, the Syndicate, as it had begun to grow, kind of took over pretty much everything. And everything ended up being privatized. Everything was then run for profit. And humans, after some time, simply started turning into nothing more than resources. It was no longer profitable to really care for people. Instead, you breed, and you have breeding programs, and these are they still all right? So we have some drop frames and light buffering. Okay, I have an idea of what might be going on here. Yeah, it's 22%, guys. This is on my side. Stand by. I'm going to restart the stream. We'll be okay. Hopefully this is going to work. We still have about 14 people or so. Let us know if you're able to see us and whether or not the quality of the stream is impacted at all. I know that there's also a little bit of a sync issue between the video and the audio. We're going to go through this. We'll figure out this stuff later. So the Syndicate ends up taking over so much of the planets that were around. Deb, thank you so much for the gift subs. Really appreciate it. That by the time that the planet that we know as Evindale was depleted of all of its resources, the Syndicate had already picked up so many people and transported them to other worlds. The Syndicate had already planned on taking things over one solar system at a time. And so they did, until finally they became a multi-galactic empire over the course of thousands of years. Technology really took over, and there was never, ever a drop of a god or magic ever heard of again. The Syndicate completely co-opted everything. So there is no faith. There is whispers and hushed tones of people here and there that might believe in something that once existed. Maybe they hold on to that for a glimmer of hope, because you barely have water, you barely have food, let alone water. And water is required in order to keep people going. And so they have done everything that they possibly could to keep it on the cheap, that their labor would simply stay alive. And that's where the breeding program started coming in. So as you begin thinking about a character that would live on one of these resource-depleted wasteland worlds, think whether or not you were born, and do you even know who your parents are? Are your parents still alive? Were you born in a lab somewhere as part of a breeding program? And as you began to grow up, did you find yourself being transported here as a baby to grow up only to become forced labor? Or were you a prisoner and sent here and sent to a settlement area to begin working for the Syndicate? Or were you born into a family of people that already existed here? The planets themselves, including the one that you're currently on, which has no name, you only know that you are in a particular settlement. And as a matter of fact, the settlement name is, hold on, it is, SA539. You guys have a different name for it. I think home, but SA539 is where you are. This is out in the middle of a desert. There's not much out there. You know of a couple of other settlements in the area, and you guys have been left behind. 17 years passed since one of the subsidiaries of the Syndicate left the area, Blue Horizons. Blue Horizon Corporation was primarily responsible for scraping this planet clean. It had been terraformed about 100 years ago or so. They ripped it all apart. What you are left with now is sand, blasted sand. You guys have no electricity. You barely have petrol for any kind of an automobile. You have a couple of desolate things here and there, and most of your homes have been constructed of scrap parts, most of it simply rust. So when you think about what it is that you do in a settlement, Is there a technology that you were able to find? Or is there technology there that was pre-existing? Is there that enables you to do your job? Or are you simply handy with your hands and a quick thinker? Or other things like that. Like, for example, you notice these two people here. Harlan is your name, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
You're a traitor.
We all have things we want.
And so as a trader, chances are you would know of the other settlements. In fact, the very first job that you're going to have is to go down to, I believe, SA 56 or Settlement Area 56 down to the south. Now, as a trader, you're also aware that the land between here and there is filled with rifts, gouges left behind by mega huge ultra mining machines that literally would scrape the earth clean. The only thing left now are just various gorges and crevices, mesas separating them wherever the machines did not take down. That area is still rich in iron, which is why no one has ever picked up out of this. It's one of the few places in this entire planet where you can still get iron ore. But you also know that the trade routes between you and the other settlement areas are fraught with problems. While there are massive chasms and ambush areas and other things, there are also areas to hide. You see, most of the wasteland between you and the other places is open, completely open, and you stand out as prey to the creatures that still exist here. Massive creatures, whether they would be known as Simulants, and the Simulants themselves were really AI-driven robots, androids, if you will. After a while, the Syndicate really started improving what it is that they can do with these things. And they became quite realistic, but not quite realistic. You wouldn't ever really be fooled by it. Once you got up close, I'd say within 50 feet or so, you would notice that some movements are still a little bit on the sketchy side. Simulants, once the Syndicate or in Blue Horizon pulled out of orbit, many of the Simulants went rogue. They no longer had instructions, and they don't always conform to logic. Many of their circuits have been completely burned out by a sun that continues to beat this planet to hell. But many of them are around. They represent good parts. If you can take one down, you want that. They have screens, they have other things. You can make radios at them because they also have transmitters, which, by the way, are illegal by the Syndicate. You're not allowed to transmit. You're not allowed to broadcast. You're not allowed to think about religion. You're not allowed to... You see where we're going. The safest route to the other two settlement areas nearby, as you would understand this, Harlan, is through that section. I'll pull up a map in a second. I'll show it with you guys. If I can, I'll see if I can do that. But today's all about character creation. So we're going to be talking about the world, and you guys are going to be creating characters, and then we'll go from there. So as a trader, you certainly understand some of the challenges that are going on here. Erin!
Hi.
Who are you?
My name's Daisy Nuke.
Daisy Nuke! So, Daisy, what do you do?
I'm your demo gal. I dabble in demolitions and mining and civil engineering just like my pops, and I get things exploding.
That's fantastic. That really comes in handy and actually would make you a prized worker there in the settlement, because you probably know your way into the chasms where the iron ore exists. You guys haven't yet perfected smelting. You've had some issues with it, mainly because it's very difficult to find clay to even make a proper bloom oven or bloom furnace. It's very difficult. And so you and several other mechanics have been trying to put some stuff together. So you would be a very good addition to SA 539. Lou and Matt. So we notice here that we don't have yet character names, and this is a perfect time for us to actually begin creating characters and what it is about the system. Okay, so number one, write down your character's name. And if you don't know it yet, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Give it a name like Bob. or slick or anything you damn well please. Yeah. Hello. Hi. How are you?
Bob Slick.
Yeah, Bob Slick.
Slick
I'm over
Bob.
here. So, yeah, feel free to create a name now or later. This is entirely up to you. So here is how we are going to play the game. There are not much on your character sheet. So first off, grab a simple piece of paper. We're going to write down a name. We're going to write down an ancestry or a race or whatever it is that you want to call it, but we'll get to that later. There's no such thing as a stat for anything that you pick. So anything you pick is going to be purely for aesthetics. Furthermore, we're not rolling any dice tonight. Everything that we do is through cooperative storytelling, and we simply build on top of the stories that others have told, including ourselves. And the next, you're going to write down a scale. Just draw a simple horizontal line with a nice little mark in the middle, and then on one side put gloom, and on the other side put hope. And then as we go, we're going to start filling that in with little dots on either side, depending upon the actions that you take. For example, if you kill someone in cold blood, you're going to get gloom. Certain other actions may be fueled or enhanced by gloom. So however many dots you have there is then what you can add into it. And you can see where that's going to go. You end up falling into the state of despair. The more gloom you use, the more you have, the more you use it, the more you get, the more you can use it, etc. And it can totally spiral out of control. On the other hand, if you find yourself helping people simply because it's the right thing to do, then you'll add instead a dot onto hope and remove one from gloom. And so it begins to shift over and over. And other actions that you can take, other selfless actions or kindness of the heart or what have you, continue to earn hope, and that will also begin fueling stuff. But we're not going to worry too much about that. Instead, we're going to move on to the next section. And the last section, your skills. Initially, you're going to write down 7. What are the skills? Pretty much anything that you decide. It's very much like Fate Core, like I told you guys behind the scenes. In this case, you're going to just start writing down things that you think your character would do. Now, Harlan, you have skills already picked out, don't you?
I have 6.
Yeah, you can write down, or you can write down any number, but minimum 7.
Okay.
So, like, what are some of the skills that you've chosen?
I've chosen deception, storytelling, science, survivalism, history, and assassination.
Holy fuck! Oh! Oh!
Fuck.
Oh my god!
I thought about it a lot. And,
Yeah, dude, that's awesome! Holy shit! All right, that's fantastic. Now, within those are 6 skills, right? So you can add on a 7th one if you so choose. Oh, well, actually, I take advantage of it. On 2 of those skills, you're going to put in 2 dots. Now, where do the dots come in? Your character, for the most part, is going to be able to do everything without ever using anything that is even remotely close to a game mechanic. And that includes combat. Instead of turn-based that we would see in D20 games, instead it's going to be opportunistic. This means you have to actively listen, and when you hear the right moment for something or a description that just simply kicks you off, you get, I'm going to get your voice out there. Get it out there. And so, I'm going to stab it in the armpit as it comes lunging towards me. So it becomes a game of listening and talking, of yes and with improv, and constantly building on top of each other, providing gifts such as the meal that you that you and I had last night, Harlan. You have no idea what the fuck meal we're talking about, but you are now informed that you and I had a meal last night. You go, oh my God, wasn't that like the best thing ever? You simply add onto it, and this is actually going to be how the skills also work. Okay, let's see that there's a chasm about 50 feet ahead of us. I know that the dirt just on the edge is going to be very loose. I've seen creatures fall into that in the past. Anybody here have any rope?
I got some rope.
Awesome. Yeah. Bring it up. Let's see what we have. All right, here. I'm going to hold on. Let me tie this around my waist here. Can you tie it around yours? If you don't mind. I mean, if you don't mind acting like my dead weight. I mean, that's okay. I just don't want to fall into the...
I can be your dead weight.
That's it. Thanks. And so, hey, by the way, if you want to use that rock over here behind you, where you can plant your feet up against that as I begin to descend, maybe that'll help out a little bit.
Wait, why am I not tying this to the rock?
You know what? That's an even better idea. Go ahead, man. And that's a perfect example. And right there, that sets up the basis for the numbers that I would run in my head of, is this a 3-point climb or a 4-point climb? Do I have climb? I have no idea. And so we'll find this out. So if I notice that on my character sheet, right, again, just a blank sheet of paper right now, that I don't have a skill, but it would make sense for my character to have, you write it down. With your 7 skills, 2 of them are going to have 2 dots. This is only going to get you going. The remaining 5 will then have 1 dot. And then you can add on an infinite number of other skills. The one thing I caution you, however, is to find that fine balanced line in between being too general and too specific. Too general, you won't be able to use. I use my attack skill. Well, I mean, you have a lead pipe and the other one's a flamethrower. Do you know the difference between the two? And that's where specificity comes into play. But you don't have to say, I am only educated in model number 36/A flamethrower. You don't have to do that. You know, don't limit yourself. And then you just add that on as we go. You say, hey, you know what? I think I know how to do that. Does anyone here know how to do this? Anyone here know anything about poisons? Anyone? Anyone know anything about poisons?
Oh,
I've been poisoned.
It depends. It depends on.
It depends on if you want it to kill or simply maim.
So you know about poisons. All right. In which case, then, if that's not on, yeah, look at, he's already flipping with the dagger. Oh, I love it. So at that point, if you don't have poison use or something like that on your sheet and you feel it should be there, then you write it down. You don't put any dots in it. Okay, so the game is also designed that your characters are meant to learn as they go. There's no such thing as experience points. In fact, every time you use a skill, you're going to put down in some place near that skill one of 2 kinds of hash marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get of successes. Every time you succeed in something, it'll go up a dot. That's simple. And every time you fail in something, keep track of your failures too, because every 20 failures, hopefully, you finally learn something and give yourself a dot if you so choose.
I feel like I learned something.
Yeah, exactly.
So bad at poisons. I know not to eat this.
So
this hurt a lot.
So that right there is the entire game system. That's it. As we begin to go and we discover things that work and don't work within the system, which for now it has a working title of Evindale, we will change the system. But for now, it's and always, it's going to be about telling a story. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. And for you two down there that don't know what your character is, we're going to start building that story right now. I'm going to read to you, when you first arrived here, an example of an interaction that would get you there. And then we're going to start playing a game called Hot Seat. Hot Seat is, I ask you a question, you make up an answer. It's that simple. And you usually do it the first thing that comes first, and then I'll ask you a question based on that answer so we can get clarification of details. And don't worry, don't think about it, just simply do it. All right. Welcome to SA 539, friend. That's settlement area 539 if you don't speak Syndicate. It's just a fucking number to them. We call it home, though, and it's the only one we have. You must have seen this place from high up coming in. It's barren. Outside of here, there's only wind that'll strip the skin right off your bone, sand, radiation clouds, rabbits, simulants. 17 years ago, Blue Sky, the assholes that dropped you here, abandoned this entire planet after they stripped it of everything. All of its resources gone. Friggin' terraformed planets. All we have is filtered water from the vapor tanks over there. We have some scrap metal from salvage jobs. Thanks, Daisy, for the last load that you brought in. And that's, as you can see, what all of our homes are made from. And we also have each other. We farm in the hills to the south. There's still some green stuff up there. How the hell Blue Sky didn't catch that, I have no idea. But that's it. And if we're lucky, we get meat from rabbits. You got to cook it, though. Got to cook it good. We've got someone here that might be able to help you out with that. Now, all you might as well go grab Tax Bunk. He died from the pox last week, so you're in luck. It's a last one. You may end up having to share it. There's 5 of you. May also be able to, in the next couple of nights, start putting out, constructing some new beds from some of the scrap. There's some grain that was dried out, some dried out grasses, and we're trying to put together some materials, some cloths, so that we can actually make you mattresses. Sorry, we just don't have much here. There's another SA, by the way, Remembrance, out to the northeast, about a day from here. We're dotted all around, and sometimes we trade. As a matter of fact, you can know Herlin here. Herlin, primary trader, can get you down through the crevices down to the south, which is that. I mean, we just call it the waste everywhere else. So you've got the cracks, you've got the waste. And no matter where you are, something's going to try to kill you. At least in the cracks, you can hide. So a little bit of something there. If you need help trading and some information with the maps, Herlin's going to be your guy. Matter of fact, that's going to be your job tomorrow, because we don't have any vehicles, none. So we walk, and we walk a lot. You're going to head down to SA 56 down to the south. Now we'll send you with Herlin. You want to do this?
Yeah. I don't know. Last group didn't fare so well.
Nope, they didn't. And there's been a lot of problems in between here and there ever since. But if you don't go, then we got to send out the kid. And the kid's only 9 years old.
Yeah. Probably better if he doesn't go.
So, you're in?
I'll take him.
Fantastic. SA 56 has got some stuff that you might be interested in, Daisy.
Nice. Like what?
Well, the Vapo tanks over here, our water supply. Yeah, those panels finally rusted out down below. Goddamn welder just ran out of acetylene. We have nothing left. So, they're, I already secured it. 56 is going to toss us some additional metal. We're going to have to replace all that, if you don't mind heading that up.
Oh, no. Totally me.
Awesome. All right, you two. You know your names? Sometimes you get hit in the head, though, and you don't always know your names up front.
Name's Alexis.
Hold on. You got something to write with? All right. How do you spell that?
Oxus.
Got it. All right. Alexis. What about you?
There are many men calling me Vandir.
How do you spell that?
Vandir.
I got it. Not all of us can write. All right, Vandir. Vandir or Vandir?
The second one.
Okay. All right, you got it. All right, if you guys start taking a look around, you're going to find the mechanics bay over there. You've got, well, we don't have much in terms of transportation, so whatever it is that Blue Sky left behind is going to be in there, and it's going to be all scraps. We're trying to put together some form of transport so we don't have to do this bullshit walking ever again. But we're going to be leaving here at 0500 tomorrow. And I'm going to need your help. Because I have some news for you guys. It's just us. Some of you I know are ex-militia, others of you are mechanics, others of you have some military training, or that's not even from Blue Sky. How the hell that's even possible? I don't know. But you're going to want to rest up. Head over to the bunk. And tomorrow you're going to have to start pulling your weight. Everyone around here pulls their weight. Because if you don't, I know of a couple of people that can use your clothing. And the rabbits, well, they like your flavor of meat. Everything else, as you can see, we're mostly aged miners and kids. The old days of work are gone. Now we're just kind of hanging out, just trying to survive. I guess now we're just waiting until we die. All right, Alaxis, what did you do? What do you know how to do?
I fit in tight spaces real easy.
You fit in tight spaces.
Did some mining. Did some fighting down in the mines.
Wait a second, are you a pit fighter?
Sometimes the opportunity to make a little credit comes up. You do what you gotta do.
Yeah. By the way, we don't have much use for credits, but I'll tell you something. There's a bunch of people here that if you have some, they'll be willing to barter for them. People around here have the hopes of finally getting off of this planet one day.
Yeah. We can all have hope.
All right, so you can fit tight spaces, mining, pit fighter. Anything else?
Dabble in a little electronics too. Just minor shit.
That's fine. That's good.
Oh yeah.
That's going to come in real damn handy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't mean to grill you. I just want to make sure they get your proper placement within the settlement. Vandir, what do you got? What do you do?
I was a killer.
How do you mean?
Can't say.
Huh.
But put a weapon in front of me. I can make it kill better.
What shape do you like your weapons to come in?
What do you got?
Got a couple of shivs and machetes. Lots of pipes. There's a couple of pieces. Somebody had taken out an old road sign from years ago and chopped it up a little bit, put some edges on it. We don't have much.
You guys are resourceful.
Well,
I'm impressed.
We try. Got some rabbits out there. You come across rabbits before? Those giant four-legged things that run faster than you can blink?
I've never encountered a creature like that before, but that's kind of why I'm here.
Oh, you were sent. I'd keep that under wraps if I were you. People don't like the Syndicate as it is. But I'm sure you're here for a reason. And a pretty one. But if you have some names on a list around here, and that's why you're actually here.
You don't need to worry about that. They work for me.
All right. All right. Rabbits are going to be the number one thing, so I'm definitely going to send you out there 0500 tomorrow. We're going to get started sharp. We don't have much in the way of bathing around here, but you will notice the oasis over there. We use that for everything. We don't go to the bathroom in it, but we drink and we cook with that stuff. The Vapo tanks are constantly supplying that thing with water, and if we're lucky, we can run back up into the hills where our farms are. There's a couple of streams up there that we managed to find. Some precipitation up there, not much. So the rabbits are going to be out, and it's going to be between you and them for any other water that you find out there in the waste, so careful. But either way, we can use someone with your skills. What else can you do besides kill?
I can fix things that kill.
You fix things that kill. You have
I can
experience.
make things that protect people from getting killed.
Okay. All right. Now we're talking. So, kind of like a jack of all trades, or do you have something specialized?
There are many who've called me an artificer.
Artificer? I'm not. What does that even mean? What does that mean?
You got something broke, I can fix it. Especially if it's military hardware.
All right. I think I got you. All right. So you're looking at some high tech stuff. High tech weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? When you come back from this job, I'm going to have you take a look at something. We have a nice little prized possession that we haven't been able to get to work. We'll talk.
Okay.
All right. Laxus Vandir. Hurlin, Daisy, go show them out the bunk. Make sure that you guys are all set.
Got it, Chief.
Get some rest. We'll go from there. All right? Any questions?
Just make sure you carry your own water.
Listen to Hurlin. He'll school you. He'll school you right.
Problem.
And that is right out of the gate how you play the game and how you construct a character. It's that simple. And if you don't have answers now, don't worry about it. Again, as your character begins to go through things, if you feel that they should have a skill and it makes sense, take it. Best as I've been able to predict, you would be able to have like 7 skills now, and you'll suddenly have, oh my God, I have like, you enter into analysis paralysis, and you come up with like a list of 20 skills in your head. Okay, write them down. That's up to you. How you maintain your own character sheet is entirely up to you. But if you're looking for a character that's able to progress and able to specialize in certain things, then you probably don't want so many that they are so diverse that their points, if you will, get diluted and they become a true jack of all trades and master of none. Now, that is playing the long game. If you want to play the short game, keep it down to about 7 skills or so, go very specialized, and you'll get very good at those things. It is possible to forget skills. You could be hit in the head. You could be shot in a place with a single bullet, or whatever weapon that might take out, let's say, an arm. If your skills have always used 2 hands and you lose a hand, I strongly suggest you begin reinventing. And there's no such thing as cash in skill points and put them in somewhere else. No, you have to start learning anew. And all of our characters are in this place, experiencing this world for the very first time, just like us as players. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Alrighty. So Svartamaya wants to know, what are the rabbits? Well, the rabbits are 4-legged creatures that ended up becoming an evolutionary nightmare. These things know how to exist in a land kind of like between behind these two over here. Herlin and Daisy have these like wasteland backgrounds. My fucking living room, but whatever. So these wasteland backgrounds are pretty much what you're looking at. So rabbits are 4-legged creatures that have some semblance or a little nub of a tail. Digigrade legs in the back, as you would expect. Massive claws. However, the claws themselves, or excuse me, the paws, before they end in talons, they also have some webbed and padded footing, much like what we would see in a camel. So these are creatures that evolved to live in wasteland territory. Their claws are meant to be able to climb up rocks and precipices and other things like that. So yeah, rabbits can climb. I have to write that down. Rabbits.
Write that down too.
Yeah, this is all lore that you guys are going to want to know.
Rabbits can climb.
Rabbits can climb, yeah. RABIDS. Let's see what else we have here. They are large. They will easily take up a space about human size in width and about 7 to 10 feet long. They are fast, and they will take you down. So when it comes down to damage, how does combat work? Well, as I said earlier, it's an opportunistic thing. If you guys see a rabbit coming your way, you know it's going to take you down. I mean, you may start to shit and turn and run. You might be able to get a little bit of a distance, or maybe one of you go, nope, get it. I have to distract it. So you may take out that one piece of beef jerky that you've had and throw it towards them and pray that it dives on it instead of you. But if they get in one claw swipe, you are talking about losing a limb right off the bat. If somebody has
sounds like...
Go ahead.
Sorry, it sounds like they would have to like dig into rocks in order to get food, so that their claws would probably be able to dig through any armor we might have.
Exactly. And that's why it makes them a very, very difficult thing. So you can consider, matter of fact, you're bringing up a good point. We're going to say that rabbits have steel talons. They are bioengineered. Oh, that's that's rude.
Oh, no.
That just got all stainless steel too.
Don't they have a blind spot though? Pretty sure they have a blind spot.
Yes. Well, you know what? As predatory creatures, their eyes are in their front. They look down their snout, which, by the way, is like this freaking long. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and they've got a lot of teeth that face backwards. So when they grab you, it is meant to tear flesh directly off the bone. Their faces are also narrow to fit into the body cavities of certain creatures, so it has the narrowness of, let's say, like a vulture's head and beak. while still having the massive like canine jaw muscles.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely hate it.
I mean, it'd make for a real good rodeo, though. You gotta admit. If you can get them on their hind haunches, you get up there, right on their back, and absolutely rodeo them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant a rodeo burger for a second there. No, that'd be
Afterwards. That's what you get if you win.
I don't.
If you listen long enough, you can usually pick up on signals on what they're grunting, and they communicate with those grunts. If you listen good enough, you might be able to tell or distract them.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. Do I have a sound effect for this? Let's find out.
Do it.
What's this?
you have to.
That sounds terrifying. And
Is that how they alert others of their species?
Yeah. Food is here. That's what that means.
Hey guys.
little mini rodeo sliders.
Alrighty, so that's what we're looking for. That's gonna be the sound. Here, let's see. Yeah, those are rabbits. Oh God, those are rabbits. All right, hold on. I gotta write down the. What's it? This is so cool. We're actually creating a game as we go. All right, so.
Be very quiet. We're hunting wabbits.
Yeah, the game I'm playing is trying not to give Steve any ideas.
Waffle, you know me.
I'm going to never stop giving him ideas.
You realize this is going to happen whether you want it or not.
Oh, I'll just absorb whatever kind of clues given to me. Absolutely.
Steve, you're not going to believe this,
What's
but
up?
I drew this in 2019. I drew this creature.
Did you?
Yes.
I did. I'm sending you a link.
Oh, yes!
God, that's so good.
Nom the illustrations.
When you said the long snout and the claws, I'm like, wait a minute.
Laughing Jackal just said everyone is gangster till the rabbit's dinner bell sounds.
It's gonna be in Discord, Steve.
Oh, is it in Discord? Okay. All right. I'll pop up in a second.
Fuck yeah.
That's freaking cool. Let me check this out. Hold on.
Cool.
Oh my God. Is this? Here's that. What else do we have?
It's gonna be a DM.
Oh, got it. Oh, you have it up on your Insta, dude. Oh wow, something like that. They don't have the fur on them. This is all shitness. This is
Okay.
Kiteness?
yeah, shitness. Kiteness.
I don't know how it's pronounced.
I think it's chitinous, yeah.
It's got things on it.
Shit.
It's got shitness.
Yeah.
No, we're the ones that are going to have the shitness.
I'll be shitting myself when I see one.
This is why we insist that you go to the bathroom before crossing the desert.
Yes. Travel time to each of these points is about 2 days, with the exception of 1 day's travel out to Remembrance. I can tell you that, let's see, that I do have a little bit of a story. We're going to see. We're going to get through this until our characters are fully created. And then if we have time, which I believe that we are going to do, or I believe that we are, we're actually going to hit the desert and see what happens.
Fuck yeah.
So, rabbits. Aaron, what was the thing you said about Aaron? Oh, they have blind spots. That's right.
Blind spot.
Yeah, predators have the eyes in the front. So, like us, their vision is probably only out to maybe 120 degrees, similar to ours. So that is something. Yeah, you can sneak up behind them from the one side or the other. Let's see. Yeah,
Like most predators, they'll probably smell you before they see you,
so
Not
and they'll
cover
probably
yourself in
hear
dirt.
you.
do they have a sense of smell? Yes, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. So that is one kind of creature. The others are known as Skrellers. They are named after Douglas Skreller, who discovered them about 50 years ago. The only reason why we know that Douglas, or excuse me, the only reason why we call them Skrellers is because Douglas is not alive today. After he encountered them, we saw him get ripped to shreds by these things. They tend to live in the chasms. They don't like the daylight at all, and that makes traveling during the day preferable if you happen to be going through the chasm region. So, there you go. Dragon Soul 101, thank you so much for the 10 biddies. Thank you. Why don't I have where's the alert box? Why is that not showing up? Okay, there we go. Hold on for a second. I'm going to try replaying that. The alert box isn't working. I don't know why. All right, we'll figure that out. Oh, Dragon Soul, thank you. Oh, no, that's me. That's redoing it. Okay, anyway. Rabbits. Oh, excuse me. Those were rabbits. These are Skrellers. Skrellers, according to legend, are you would think so, Maya, but it's actually at the top. It's not hidden by anything, unfortunately. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up another. Let me test it here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the alert box now does work. Okay, cool. It was earlier. I just moved it up after I noticed it. Right. Skrellers are supposedly humanoids who once lived in the desert. They ended up escaping these settlements. Now, the planet itself, it does take a while in order for terraforming to occur. It takes about 100 years or so. Terraforming, once it occurs, it's pretty much done. However, the process behind it, the introduction of chemicals and gases and carbon and other things like that seed a planet full of its resources, this entire process can change a person. And sometimes you have workers that are forced to come down into settlements, and the terraforming process also transforms them. How they appear, difficult to say. But they were named Skrellers after Douglas Skreller discovered them by accident. There wasn't much left of him. The Simulants I've already talked to you about. Leftover AI, androids of a sort that used to do some of the more heavy lifting, things that humans couldn't do due to their expenses, or at least the expenses that the Syndicate wasn't willing to pay. Not too many Simulants were created, but these of all things might be your worst nightmares. Or they can be an ally. The good news is they can be reprogrammed, but in order for that to occur, and this is where, Vandir, you might be able to come in handy, is that if you have some knowledge in electronics and what have you, as well as Alaxis, you do too, you both might be able to end up working on something if you happen to get like a brainstem out of one of them and try programming it. And it's totally cool if your character doesn't yet have the skill. You can just write it down and go from there. And then every time you succeed or every time you fail, you're still learning. So that's a good thing. Alrighty. As far as the setting goes, do you have any questions? As far as your characters go, any questions? Anything? Let me have it.
Is it all dry? Is it all desert?
There are rumors. There are rumors. So we know that the where you are does have what they call a farm. You guys haven't exactly seen it yet, but if he points up above the ramshackle like a tin roof type of walls, tin roofs turned vertical. He points above them up into the hills, and you can see a hint of green shining by the orangish light of the of whatever star that is. Probably Arios 5 or something like that. And you can see that there is some green up there, but it's a little bit on the old side. Most of the planet elsewhere is barren. However, there are some areas there that you should know about. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick. Let's see if I can make this work. Oh, hold on. No, we're not being right back. Hold on. This is I'm just doing something here really quick.
Fast.
Yeah. Let me get a display capture. Cool. All right, 1 second. And display 2. There you go. Alrighty. So, for those of you that are playing at home, I'm going to show you the community map. To those of you in Discord, if you go to the channel, you should be able to pull up the map itself. This is what we're looking at. What we have is towards the right of the center. Right of the center, we have an area. This is SA 539 right here. This is where you are. And to the west of that, there's the Silicon Cleft, which is in between massive ranges of sand dunes. These things are constantly shifting. It's difficult to get anywhere there. Off to the northeast of that is Remembrance, or SA 33. We'll find out more about that in a second. Down to the south by southwest, you will see now, or south by southeast, you will see now SA 56. That settlement area 50, right. That's the one that you'll be going to. And directly opposite you, all the way to the southeast and furthest away, is SA 540. These are your neighbors. You have been trading with them for a while, Sir Herlin. If you haven't yet seen the map, you might want to take a look at that. And in between them all are gorges and chasms and some mesas. You're going to have to travel through that because it actually spans from one side all the way to the other. If you choose to go around it, you're going to be facing rabbits. That's the problem. Directly to your south and a little bit off to the west, you have on those two sides some hills. This is where your farming community is. But as far as the rest of this place, rumor has it that all the way down to the southwest, by weeks of journey, you have the Amethyst Plains, which are supposedly where dust of gems and other things like that, the remnants of an explosion, a factory explosion that had processed minerals, ended up depositing over a massive area, an entire place. It just essentially looks like it's amethyst everywhere. You have outside of that the Citadel. The Citadel is supposedly one of the strongholds of the Syndicate that continues to be active. Supposedly, Blue Sky pulled out and ceased all operations, the last of the Syndicate's holdings in this area, leaving you guys with a barren planet. And the Syndicate just doesn't leave a planet for any reason. And yet, rumors exist of greener areas all the way down, last vigil, way down to the southwest from your location. We have a lot more to go through. But to answer your question, it's entirely possible that the planet has life, like verdant forests on it. But you didn't see it coming in.
I've never seen it.
Never left this place.
So yeah.
There's a lot out there.
All right, what are the questions?
It's not green.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's totally not green. It's like the majority of this place it's a friggin' dust. It's a planet-sized dust bowl that every now and then has a really hopeful flower sticking out of it, and that's about it. Yeah, Dragon Soul 101. The system and the setting are being created as we go, and so are the characters. What other questions about the setting do you have, if any? Or the characters.
Mining.
So, mining operations here ceased 17 years ago. Actually, they stopped about 17 and a half years ago. That was the very first indication that Blue Sky was done with its operations. Of course, those people that were miners, well, many of them just simply didn't make it out. That was the other indication that Blue Sky was about to cease operations when the miners stopped returning. They stopped coming home. They would be sent away for a month at a time, having to sleep in the mines, being fed water and whatever else that they were able to, that the Syndicate decided to give them, or Blue Sky in this case. With all the digging that was going on, rumors had said that they uncovered something, and within 6 months, the planetary operation shut down. The last place that Blue Sky was at was the place known as Remembrance. And as far as you know, they're still there. That is SA 33 out to your northeast, about a day's journey.
Syndicate doesn't just leave. They found something. They had to have found something.
Well,
yeah, but did they find something worse?
Yeah, had to have been.
I'm going to tell you something right now. If you guys want to go out there and you want to check that out, You make that run out to SA-56 first, down to the south. You're going to have to go through the chasms. Herlin, you're going to lead them down through the chasms. We are not going to go west. That fool of a trader last time tried leading us out that way. We just never seen him again. So you go straight down through the chasms. You lead them there. Daisy, you know the road. You and Herlin both know the road on the northern rim of the chasms. You're going to have to go down through there. But I'll tell you what, if you can get down through SA-56, along with these newcomers, yeah, we'll send you out to Remembrance, and we'll find out what's happened.
You have to remember what they said about curiosity.
What do they say?
Who's curiosity?
Yeah.
No, curiosity, it kills.
It does?
Well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Temper your curiosity if you want to survive.
Oh, you're talking an actual... Oh, I thought we have Remembrance, we have Last Vigil, we have Last Hope. I thought Curiosity was the name of...
Oh, I'm sorry. The town Curiosity also died. That's...
Well, yes.
Yeah. I didn't mean for the double entendre. It happens every once in a while, and I apologize.
There's so many planets and so many towns.
That's why you can't name them after adjectives.
That's why Curiosity died, though. It's because it was named Curiosity.
It just killed itself. It just up and killed itself.
I honestly don't want to know. There's a lesson in that too.
It is getting later into the evening, and this guy is now going to escort you over to the bunks where the four of you will be able to ask questions of other people that are currently there. Most people have already settled in for the night. One of the things that you guys had, Araxis and Mandir, the two of you coming in on the last transport, one of the things that you learned is most people don't like to talk. The less information that they know about you, the less attachment they have, the less mourning they have to spend when you die. So it's almost sociopathic. People have really stopped expressing themselves.
I like to talk. There's just nobody to talk to because nobody else likes to talk.
Well, into the bunks you go. Others now beginning to snore and what have you, leaving you four to your own devices. A single bunk left to share, except there is one kind person, because Steve forgot that there were four players and the narration only takes one into account, that somebody else had already grabbed a couple of beds by kicking out those that don't need them anymore. You see a small stack of dead bodies off in the corner. And they're dragging them out, waving.
What do they do with the bodies?
Mulch.
I'm just gonna rifle through their pockets one last time. Don't mind me.
He drops the legs. One of the boots kind of falls off.
I pick it up, sort of like weigh it.
Seems to be about a size 12.
Yeah, I take the laces. I don't need a size 12.
Okay. Yeah. Write that shit down. Because that's the kind of stuff as we go playing the game, as you guys start getting equipment, yeah, you're going to want to write that stuff down. This is an OSR game, which is old school revival. And one of the things that we should all keep in mind about OSR is the ingenuity of the player will always trump the character's abilities. So if you come up with something and it doesn't work, then take a look at the character sheet and see if there's something that they can do. But for the most part, it is completely up to you. So taking the shoelaces, great idea. He's like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. He starts going for the other laces on the other boot.
The bodies aren't naked, are they?
No, they have clothing on them. Rotted, fetid clothing, but they have clothing.
Nothing worth salvaging?
A lot of it is like moth-eaten hand-me-downs from the past 20 years. Well, I should say threadbare, not moth-eaten. There are no moths here. They wouldn't survive.
Moth is a food source.
Oh!
Moth is delicious.
I don't need to know how you know that, Raffle. I never need to.
It's all good.
Herlin knows that. Raffle doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yet.
Oh, man, that's funny. Okay.
So I'd ask the guy carrying the bodies.
Yeah.
What killed these? What killed these people?
Pox.
Hawks?
Pox. Oh, you knew.
Brand new.
Every now and then, there's some gaseous fissures down to the south in a place that we call the chasms. The gas comes up, and we think it's irradiated, and the blisters then start. If any of these peoples come into contact with others, it begins to spread. That one there got it, and spread it out to the other two.
The blisters can spread?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as soon as those fuckers start popping open and that liquid gets on you. So that's part of the problem. That's why some others, we haven't had a Medicare in a long time, but let alone a doc. But I could tell you that the stuff inside of those blisters is what spreads it. That's why some don't think it's radiation. So we're not too sure what it is. But I do know they're starting to smell, so we have to get them out of here.
What do you guys use the bodies for after you get them out of there?
Mulch. Oh, what do we drag? How do we get them out?
Yeah.
He looks at you, doesn't remove his gaze, picks up the feet and starts walking backwards. Something like this. And with that, he continues his job, and a second guy comes along. You gonna help?
I'll give a hand.
Okay.
I start helping as well.
With now all three bodies outside, the two of you, Harlan and Alexis Evindale, the two of you see that they are now putting it into like a wagon or something along those lines, and it looks like that there's no horse, there's nothing attached to it. The big guy who was just talking to you, he gets in between the two poles and lifts them up. One wheel made out of a whole bunch of welded together stop signs, and the other wheel is probably like some sort of jerry-rigged, some wood or something along those lines. It's not a pretty sight, but it's what they have. And
I didn't think the stories were true. It's really worse than I thought here for you people.
Yeah. It's it's all right. And with that, he takes a hatchet out of the back and out of his back belt, and then puts it in the wagon. All right, we're good. We're good to go. We got the dismembering tool. And all right, let's go. And the guy just starts moving up to towards the hills.
Meanwhile, I turn to Daisy and I say, "This is why I hate the new chums."
Yeah, no, they're all right. I'm meanwhile pouring like 4 little tiny cups of toilet hooch that I've like kind of curated over the past month, and I save it for newbies. It's just old like fermented cacti and our like rusted out Vapo tank water, and I've got it all divvied out for everybody.
Awesome.
I'm gonna hand you one, Harlan. It's all right. It's all right. You know, they just gotta have like a little bit of a wake-up call.
I turn to Harlan and I'm just like, dismembering tool?
I believe you used to call it an axe.
I've never even seen an axe? What?
Well, I could tell you a story about how there were once trees 3 times taller than a man, but you wouldn't believe me anyway. A tree, a living thing, a thing they used to cut down and burn, make the sky turn black. But these are just stories from an old man, or a woman, or a mother.
Shh, keep it
Someone
down
who
over there.
died.
Somebody in the back of the barracks, like yelling at you for being too loud, grabs the one little threadbare sheet he has and rolls over.
Calvin, you can just simmer down, okay? We've got new guys. We got to talk about the trees for a second. I'm gonna hand out the hooch.
You see a hand come up and flips you off for a second.
Yeah.
I was
Calvin, huh? Cool.
I've heard of trees, but I've never seen a tree before. There were trees here?
No.
Oh.
No. Little trees, like little tiny cacti trees, like the pointy ones. That's what you're drinking now, but none of those big things anymore.
Daisy, as a matter of fact, this is probably how you got into demo in the first place. First off, how old are you, Daisy, and what do we see?
Oh, I'm like kind of in my ambiguous 20s. I'm not a lady never discloses her age. And I am sitting in a like primitive wheelchair that I built from like spare parts that I've salvaged myself. I got the green hair. I got like piercings when I want to feel emotion, and goggles when I want to like keep my eyes safe. And I've got a couple things strapped to my chair. Got a tool bag, got a bandolier belt, claymore, bazooka, broken metal detector. So I heard electronics. I'm whipping up a deal in my head. That's about it. Pop's old jacket, Pop's old goggles. He was the civil engineer here, tasked with kind of trying to develop some infrastructure. That's where I got my penchant for explosions and road work and surveying. I could read the shit out of a blueprint.
Can you describe this wheelchair and how it's been modified to get over the terrain?
Yeah, It really is 90% willpower and 10% just deciding not to go to the farm. I've never really left the town. I've got tracks, like kind of like they're not rubber tracks, but it's just like a Mod Podge of like different materials that goes from the smaller wheels to the bigger wheels to kind of.
So are we looking at a friggin' wheelchair that has treads? I mean, like a tank.
Yeah, you're looking at
awesome.
Oh, nice.
You're looking at a tank girl.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, parts here are scarce, and I'd rather give to the community than myself. But eventually, I hope to really soup it up super nice. Maybe put some jetpacks on there. Who knows?
That is fantastic. So you're looking at Svartamaya says you got to have wide wheels with treads in the sand, yo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gets me from point A to point B, but point B is like right over there to my shop.
Dude, oh my God, that is so cool. Herlin, what are we looking at? What do we see?
You see a man wearing a robe to keep the sun out. And you see dark makeup, some type of you assume some kind of homemade sunscreen of some sort. You see someone who has traveled a lot. You see a bandolier with a knife on it and little wire, maybe just some cooling system. It's unclear what it does. But rather than that, I would just say you see what you want to and leave it at that.
Oh, that's awesome.
It sounds brooding and mysterious.
Are you the token edgelord?
I really am trying not to be, but
I mean, it's
this is why episode zeros are so important, because you sort of find where your rhythm is,
100%, man, and
how you play off others. And I see a lot of hope and optimism in this party, and I don't want to contribute to it.
It's Aragorn, but make it Mad Max.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, dude.
It's Maxagorn.
Yeah, that's much better than this.
Maxagorn, it is.
And Dragon Soul 101 is saying that they love the wheelchair, and I'm sitting here going, man, that's a friggin' art prompt right there.
It is.
That
I
is
was already
that is such a problem.
considering.
Oh,
Hey,
I'll commission the shit out of it.
I would love to. It'd be amazing.
Okay.
Van Deer, if you were to give somebody an official or even, well, it could be anything, a 1-word or 2-word description of what your character is profession-wise, what would it be?
Profession-wise, it's so difficult. I would say one word would just be mercenary.
Mercenary. Okay, then that's fine. All right. So we're going to write down Merc. Okay. And go ahead. Oh wait, I thought you said something else.
No.
Alexis. Love the name, by the way, Lynn.
Oh, thank you.
And the voice mod. It's so good.
The voice mod is just absolutely. Oh man, you're killing it. Alexis, if there was one word that could be used to, 1 or 2 words that could be used to describe your profession, what would it be?
Problem solver. Problem solver.
Problem solver. Oh, I love it. Okay.
Nice.
Problem solver. That is so. Oh, I love it. Okay, and now we will update the template. Hold on. I think we can do this right now. I think we should be able to do it live. And boom. Let's see if this works. Yes, replace. Is that going to work? Yep, it does.
So cool.
Yay, it just updated. Okay, so now we're official. Okay. I know. And this is so exciting. I love this shit. This is like, this is totally what Session 0 is. And you're right, Joshua. It just getting the basics down, it can be so much fun. And I miss this aspect of TTRPGs. Van Deer, what do we see when we look at you?
Kind of a mountain of a person, wearing frighteningly clean armor, considering the surroundings, and it's sort of a pewter gray color. The complexion of his skin is also frighteningly pale, considering the sunlight that's hitting it. He has a pretty close buzz cut underneath the sort of short cloak that he's wearing to mask his face from the sun. You can see bits of cybernetic sticking out of the side of his head, and a little bit of a flashing light near the back of his neck, on the back of his neck.
Holy shit. Oh, that is so fucking cool. I know. I love it. Oh, this is so good.
So cool.
How tall? You said a massive person, right? So kind of like looms above everyone else?
6'8".
Shit. Okay. All right. About 6'8", then it is.
I was going for the Tano that you have here. I liked that description a lot.
So, and speaking of the roster that is that was linked in the chat, or excuse me, the instruction sheet of how to play the game, under the question of what am I? For those of you that are familiar with Evindale, you may recognize some of these things. If you've never seen it before, don't worry about it. We're going to go over it for the first time. Tens of thousands of people came from all over. The only thing we in the Syndicate agree on, we don't care what you are, but that's where our similarities end. They want you to live to work. We want you to work to live. Here's the roster. You have the Clane, like me. Dane, diverse and extremely adaptable human-like beings. That's all there are. Humans, no more. Now there's the Clane. Mirads, desert-faring people. They're pretty good out there. Good-hearted and a slight metallic sheen to their skin. Excellent survivors in the desert. The Therans, best damn eyesight you'll ever know. Natural scouts. Big, wide-eyed folk. You'll recognize them. The Karoon, shorter, stronger, tough as nails. The Tano, massive, intelligent, fiercely loyal, and never piss them off. And the Slindar, cave folk, natural miners, can't stand the sun. Out of those ancestries which I created for the 7th Age, there are going to be more as well. So these are just mere examples of things that are currently possible, but you also have the ability to create as the very first alpha. I can't even say beta tester because it's not even an alpha tester. So if you had to give an ancestry, think about which one it would be. You don't have to choose one now because, again, we can always evolve as we go. Lou, when we take a look at Alraxis, what do we see?
It's Aloxis, but okay.
Aloxis?
Yeah, Aloxis.
How do you spell that?
I went with Alaxis.
You did. Okay. All right. Good. Whew. All right. Good. That's what I got on the template. Okay.
Or O. Aloxis is fine. OXIS. Let's go with that.
OXIS. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll change it. Okay. So what do we look at?
They're changing it. Can you change mine to IER?
Yeah, man.
Thank you. I'm only a little bit OCD.
Yeah, no, this is your name. You have full rights. Okay, cool.
You.
Changing it right now. So what do we see?
You would see, as he described, fits really well in tight spaces. So short, stocky, corded with muscle. You know, a couple of layers of clothing there, bandolier full of little pockets and things, and hair that's unintentionally dreaded, basically just because he hasn't addressed it, and a pickaxe.
So cool.
Dude!
He keeps really handy.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
It's really useful in intimate settings.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is so cool. Awesome. Well, everyone's names and professions are locked in. That means I get to free up computer resources by closing down Photoshop.
Cool.
The person who you were talking to, he never quite got his name. He stands at about 5'10". Looks like sun-bleached hair and skin that is a little bit older than possibly what he should be. Then again, that makes him look like everyone else. He's tends to wear a jacket even in the hotter climates. A scarf that could be used for a number of reasons, particularly against the sandstorms. Sometimes just to keep out the swarms that will go flying around every now and then. He's wearing boots that have seen much better days. In fact, you've seen better pairs of boots on the dead people than you have on him. He's wearing what looks to be what we would call cargo pants, but they have holes all over the damn place. He also has a couple of chains that hang down off his sides, small little chains. They seem to be more for decoration than anything else because they're snapped out to his belt buckles. But you all, out to his belt loops rather. But you all know everyone who has survived more than 1 year has learned how to adapt and learns how not to carry anything on them that is wasteful. His demeanor seems to be pretty much as you saw it, very matter of fact. Welcome to SA 539. Now you just need to wait until you die. He looks like he has resigned himself to that, the concept of death. As a matter of fact, talking with some of your other bunkmates as you were in the barracks, now about a half an hour later, you finally did manage to score some spring beds, luxury items. Most people sleep on the floor. But then you find out why. The damn thing squeaks louder than anything, and there's no oil in anywhere that anybody's willing to loan you, because you're going to have to return any used oil so it can be reprocessed. He doesn't look like he has much hope. Looks like he's kind of resigned himself to this, to the gloomy atmosphere that's around. It's not black clouds all over the place. Matter of fact, it's perpetual damn sun. And at this time of day, in a place where the days are about 28 hours long, and where you are in a place that doesn't have too much of an axial tilt, there's not too many seasons either. It's just always fucking hot. So, other people look like that they are fared well. You know for a fact that after discussion with some other inhabitants, that SA-539 has the only thing it has going for it is the Oasis. Over the course of the night, just as you guys are reminded by others to kick back and go to sleep so others can get up early in the morning and work, you find that the Oasis is probably the only thing, and even then it's man-made. So that's all that SA-539 has. Oh, you did hear about a battle for that Oasis. When Blue Sky started pulling about 17 years ago, they wanted to take that water with them. Several Blue Sky members died that day. Unfortunately, so did twice that many from SA-539. Nighttime has come. Laying in your bunks, the heat causing sweat to drip out. Small sips of water being heard here and there from those who can't get sleep just like you. And then something happens. You swear it was a flash of light up in the sky. Unsure exactly what it was. You see other people sit up with their elbows. Some shock straight up. They've seen this before. They have that fear. And whatever it is, it's going to happen again. Whatever it is that they experienced. All of them who shocked right up are old enough to remember the days of Blue Sky and everything that they did to SA-539 and its people, all those untold stories just yet. Maybe tomorrow you'll hear some of them. After a couple minutes and no other activity, elbows start relaxing, so do shoulders. Jaws start loosening up from the tension. Eyes, once wide and nostrils flaring, begin to relax. Facial muscles that have seen this happen so many times. And finally, some go right back to sleep. You learn how to sleep fairly well here in SA-539. Most people, even those that shot straight up, fell right back to sleep within about 20 seconds or so. It's a matter of survival. You need your sleep. What are each of the four of you doing?
I am sleeping like a baby. It's a good night. It's been hotter.
I was one of the ones that shot right up, but I can sleep through anything. So.
Cool. Oh, that's nice.
Took about 20 seconds, just like you said.
Awesome. Nice detail. Okay. What about you guys?
This is where you all learn that Van Deer doesn't sleep.
Creepy.
Okay. What are you doing?
He also does not react to the light or sound at all.
Oh, dude. Okay. What is he doing?
He looks around the room when the light goes from window to window, but beyond that, he just stares at the ceiling.
Is he laying down in his bunk?
Yes. Just out of respect for everyone trying to sleep.
Okay. That's creepy.
I didn't notice it.
That's creepy as fuck. Alexis?
Alexis just kind of rolls, looks at everybody, and then grabs two dreads and just shoves them in his ear. And then just lays back.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
Well, whatever it is that you do for rest and relaxation, you finally managed to get it. Except there was one point where you swore you heard something. A distant explosion. This was right around 4 a.m. or so. Huge amounts of explosions from somewhere nearby. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'll get up and look at that.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Of course.
Do we decide what our characters have on us right now as well for items?
You just that's almost too specific. You have on you whatever you need in that moment.
Oh, okay. So to answer that question, then this is when my character, when Vandir jumps right up and then runs right out the door, and from underneath his cloak pulls a plasma rifle. And it sort of unsheaths itself into the shape of a rifle, because it's sort of just boxy shape at first on his back. And begins scanning the horizon, scanning buildings, scanning whatever, wherever any enemy could be coming from, because explosions mean battle, and he's ready.
You got it. Taking a look out, you can see that the horizon out to the northeast, the sky lit up. Something causing explosions of massive proportions.
I lay a hand on Vandir's shoulder very carefully and say, "It's not our time yet."
I visibly calm and like, what is this then?
Something bright and hot and loud.
Thanks, Harlan.
It certainly doesn't sound like it's coming from underground. Sounds like airborne explosions from here. I could be wrong.
Maybe they're launching off again.
Daisy, I'm assuming that you go outside?
Yeah, I'll wheel myself outside.
Herlin?
Does it sound like a launch to you? Maybe they're launching off again.
In order to answer that question, you guys look up in the sky and you can see that there's you see a bright light coming from out of the sky, landing somewhere just beyond the horizon.
That's an atmosphere break. Somebody's coming here.
That means they have a ship.
Yeah, or attacking here.
And they're being fired at. And this is Aloxus says this after he has upended his bed and has made a barrier.
Certainly, the ground would give you the ground's vibrations would certainly give you reason enough for it to do that. Others already beginning to get ready for work with maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Actually, no, I'll give you a little bit more because you guys were forced to go to bed fairly early. We're going to say that you guys got in about a good 6 hours of sleep before this shit started to go down.
Perfect.
Couple people look over at Lox and they're like, Lox, is that a good nickname for you?
It works.
All right, cool. Yeah, a couple people looking over at Lox and they look at each other thinking maybe that's a good idea, and see some like slink out of their bed, fastening any ropes that they use as belts, putting on suspenders and what have you, some grabbing a nearby shovel, another grabbing a pickaxe, someone else grabbing a staff, what appears to be a well-worn walking stick. No elders nor children in this bunk. All just other people able to work. Some begin looking out. You had gone out through the side door. At the far end of the barracks, another door. The door screeches open, and some of the light pours in from the distant explosions. Something is happening. People begin looking at each other, and one person sits back down, the one that flicked you off before. Calvin? Yeah. He sits back down, leans forward, and rests his elbows on his knees and clasps his hand behind his head, shaking his head slowly.
I mean, it's kind of far away. It's not too close. What, are you scared?
Not too far.
He turns back around. That's exactly how it started last time. When we fought for the Oasis.
Yeah, I know. My pops was there.
And they also left 17 years ago. What do you think is bombarding that? They're back. Fuck, they're back.
Who's back? Syndicate?
Who else has that kind of armament? Orbital strikes?
Definitely Syndicate.
He looks back at you. What do you know about it?
They used to own me.
He goes, motherfucker, do we have a simulant in our midst? He stands up in an accusatory manner.
I escaped. You don't need to worry about me.
Answer the question. Are you?
All I know is that I'm free now.
So the
Why'd
rumors
you
are true.
escape?
Yeah, why did you escape?
They made me do some things that I didn't want to do.
Wait a second, assimilate with the consciousness? Hey Lou,
Why is...
your speaker's coming up right through your mic. We have a loop.
Oh yeah, we're all
Oh,
sounding
that's
like...
it. We all got lewd.
We got lewd.
You got lewd.
We sound so badass though. I kind of don't want it to ever stop.
I know, it was kind of cool. So you mean to tell me that simulants now have a freaking conscience? When did you... answer her.
I'd never heard that term before. All I knew was orders directly beamed to my head before 5 weeks ago. Something broke me out of the connection.
Attention's drawn back over to the door. Flashes of light out on the distance disproportionate to the explosions.
So you escaping was an act of free will? Is what you're saying?
Yes. What is free will, though?
I mean, you didn't want to do what you were being told to do, so you left?
In that case, then yes, I suppose I am capable of free will.
I'm more interested in how you left. I've never heard of anyone leaving. What makes you so damn special?
All I remember is screams and blood and explosions and a ship for millions of miles.
Well, you're here. Doesn't really matter how or why. So we can go kind of check it out, maybe? I mean, Cal, it's either you or him, so.
Yeah, no, fuck. Come on, let's go! He turns around to everyone else, and everyone else, as if they have heard about this kind of a thing before, but even underneath that cool, calm demeanor, other people are already incredibly nervous. You see some stuff going around, they're like looking for some kind of like leadership. Not too sure. Meanwhile, voices have started to pick up outside. Those of you that were outside looking at the sky, you can hear the gathering voices in the compound, the main compound, out there by the Vapo tanks. They're looking up as well. And then a bright flash of light streaks across the sky. was the last thing you heard. And we will be right back after a 10-minute intermission. All right, guys. How you liking it so far? I know, Matt, you have questions that need answers, so let's dive in deep, and then we will continue the game.
Cool.
Yeah, I need to know what a... say the word one more time, because I'm going to say it wrong if I keep...
Sure. Which one?
Simulant?
It is
Simulant.
a simulant, as in it is similar to life.
Ah. See, I was wondering, like, I wonder if they're like bioorganic, or are they grown or built?
They are.
Like,
they're kind of bioorganic. They're kind of. Okay, so
there are some ideas.
The answer is yes.
Oh, they're designed.
Yeah, the answer is absolutely yes. MK Ultra 1977. Thank you so much for welcoming us back, and thank you again. I want to say thank you so much for the follow from 2 days ago. Really appreciate that. I saw you do that, and we weren't even online when you did it, so I was like, oh, I have to remind myself to thank him or thank them. So a simulant was the Syndicate's attempt at androids, and they ended up creating a lot of artificial organs, simulated organs or simulated life, etc., life processes, and then release them out there as the heavy hitters. They used them initially as shock troops, according to history, and I think one of you has history. You do.
Yes.
Herlin, how many dots do you have in history?
Let me see. I have this written down in this document right here. I have, I believe, 1 dot in history.
You have 1 dot?
Nice.
Yep, 1 dot.
Okay, that is going to be more than enough. Simulants were used initially as shock troops, and the rumor of their presence, their horrific presence, continues to be a child bedtime horror story. Simulants were used for other things, but if you're the only one here with history, then then we'll leave it up to some vague stuff, and maybe you guys will unfortunately find out what it is that they can do. Rumors of the Syndicates also working on other types of beings, other types of android-like beings also had begun to spread. So will we ever find out who Van Dier is, or Van Dier? We will. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. What else you got?
That was pretty much it. I was also a little bit curious about the Syndicate's ability to travel between planets. But beyond that, like, is it fast? Is it like days, or is it months?
It can be months depending upon the distance. However, supposedly, they never quite got faster than light. They never got that one going from point A to point B. But rumors have begun to spread that the Syndicate, because they now span 3 galaxies. Yeah, I mean, you're on a planet. You're literally living on dirt. You are this tiny, infinitesimally small speck. Okay, if this planet were the size of a basketball, your height is 1/12,000th of a human hair. All right? Now make that thing a fucking planet inside of a massive solar system, which is just one of a trillion solar systems inside of a single galaxy, and they own 3 fucking galaxies. So somehow, some way, they are able to get back and forth. How?
That answered. That answered my other question.
What's up?
The other question was like, how big is the Syndicate's reach? Yeah. And then like that was more in reference to like these simulants, if they have issues, how quickly can they resolve those issues, that kind of thing.
That's the one thing that they haven't been able to do. They've been able to make them look good with silicone skin and what have you, but human characteristics, they haven't yet mastered it, and nor have they improved the AI to the point where the machine can think as well as they can. They are, of course, exceedingly quick. They think at the speed of light, but when it comes down to logical processes, not an issue at all. If I do this, then this may occur. Will only happen if they have enough information to figure in all the variables. They don't work well on intuition at all.
Okay. That's all my questions. I don't want to hold up the game.
No. This is exactly what we're doing today.
Ah.
Oh
okay,
yeah,
sorry.
no. This is session 0, man. This
Session
is
0, comrade.
Oh yeah, man. No, we're meant to do this. All right. Well, what else you got? Because it keeps something in mind.
Yeah.
People in the chat may not know what questions to ask, and so your questions could be their questions too. So, what do you got?
Right. That's a lot of world building stuff that I keep thinking of, but like in pertaining to my character, you said rumored that they're working on better simulants.
Yes. That's a hint. I'm leaving it open because I don't know what race your character is.
We're gonna leave that open too until situations happen.
Okay.
I don't want to. I got ideas, but I want them fleshed out better first.
Yeah, that's fine. And don't strive for perfection. Simply just go with it, and if it works, then we keep it. If it doesn't work, then we change it. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I have a note on that note.
Yeah.
I'm adding local history to mine as one of my 0 dots.
Awesome.
I don't know if that's something that you want to bring up organically.
Yeah, 100%. At any point during play, you can add a new skill to your sheet that you think your character would have.
Yeah, I didn't realize that my character had lived here her whole life. So
until you said it, right?
yeah, until I said that my pops was in the battle for the Oasis. So
wow.
I'm adding that to my list.
Yeah,
it's not far-reaching like Herlin's because Herlin's a nomad and trader, so it wouldn't be super far-reaching. But local history, got that.
Right. The entire game is meant to be. Remember when I said during the pre-show that we were going to engage in an improv exercise called Hot Seat?
Yes.
Okay. What we just did during gameplay, the entire first half of this stream has been that improv exercise called Hot Seat, which is situations arise or questions change a little bit for TTRPG, but situations arise or questions are asked. And you have to provide an answer that seems to make sense to you in the moment. Your brain is capable of doing this on its own. Just let it do so, exactly what you did. So, yeah, there you go.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, so I love that. Yeah, so definitely write down local history as yours. And Herlin, is your history a Syndicate history, or is that just a overall...
It's definitely just a patchwork history from the stories I've collected as I travel the desert.
So
it's
general
more
history.
like a people's history. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The things that people remember, the things that are important to them, and the things that, frighten them, all that sort of stuff is woven in. It's sort of like a more history and mythology.
Fantastic.
But in a post-technological world, is there a difference? I don't know.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's I would say myth, legend, and rumor are probably the best sources of information, or the only sources of info.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really. I mean, I definitely wasn't. I'm not Syndicate, so.
Well, as far as we know.
In case anyone was wondering, I don't dress like this because it's a fashion statement.
Completely functional. We understand.
Yeah, 100%.
I did actually have a question that I was sort of afraid to ask because I'm probably the only one who cares about this, but the rabbit meat.
Yes.
So is this sort of like dried in collective smokehouses, or
that's the only way? They
the meat fuel for cooking is going to be very scarce.
Yeah, exactly. So there are a couple of underground pools of some kind of a liquid where if you just put the liquid in, it's essentially an acid.
Ceviche.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. That works.
Acid ceviche. Nice.
Rabbit ceviche.
That's how you make ceviche.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You could take uncooked shrimp and just put it in lemon juice, and after a while you will have ceviche. It's fantastic.
That's how that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in this case, the only way that they're able to break it down, first they actually have to pound the hell out of the meat just to break up some of the fibers. The fibers and the muscles on these things are ridiculously strong. So, once they break down the monster, or rather, break down the thing, and they will then hang the meat. The drying portion of it will work, but then they'll take in a vat of this stuff, like in a large, shallow pan, and put it inside of this ramshackle house or shack. That will then cause the meat to, as you said, turn into ceviche.
Soften enough to eat.
Yeah,
so it's like
that's all it
elk
is.
Jerky is what I'm thinking. But
yeah, dude,
you have to soften it in acid just to be able to chew it. Yep. That sounds awful. And I love it. Out of all the awful things we talked about today, I think that's probably the thing I'm most excited about.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to make a 7th Age cookbook? Please do it.
No promises, because honestly, a lot of this stuff just sounds horrible, and it wouldn't be palatable, and I don't think people would want it or appreciate it.
Yeah, who cares?
Except you would appreciate it.
I would. Ceviche and cactus hooch, please.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the cactus hooch is easy. I got that down pat. I got to figure out how to dry... Look, I know how to make elk jerky, but I don't know why you would soak it in acid. But now I have to. Thanks.
All right. Well, all right. So, any other questions?
No.
No. And I don't mean to rush this along. This is exactly what we're doing today.
Okay. Yeah. So, question. So, I'm starting to formulate some, some skills, logging them down, but I guess leaving a couple of slots open just for spur of the moment. I can do this.
Yeah.
And then I lock it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And you can, once again, keep something in mind. You can write down a skill at any time. After the initial 7 slots have been filled, where you can put 2 dots in 2 of them and 1 dot in the remaining 5, anything else that you add there is just as valid as any of those. And every time you succeed in that, put a tick mark next to it, under it, whatever your note-taking style is. And when you get 10 ticks of successes, add a new dot. So, for example, Herlin, you had a history check and about the Simulants and what it is that they did. Congrats. Put a tick mark under your history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if you do that 9 more times with successes, then you will cash those 10 in for a dot. And if you guys fail, then you do up to 20 tick marks. Once you get 20, scratch those out or erase those, and then put a dot into that skill, because you also learn through failure. In fact, that's exactly what failure is. And now, after a while, to be fair, if you continue to say the same thing or do the same thing, even if it's just generally speaking, you don't actually learn anything more. You actually have to learn something new, or at least confirm it for the first time.
So the 7 really is just our starter.
Yep.
Yep. And then we can add to it, as we go along, as the story progresses and the character develops.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. And because I decided after this check to add local history, next time I could start adding tick marks.
You can, yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
The next time you use it.
Yeah. That's it. And that could be like we're in the middle of a conversation. You go, holy shit, they would have local history. You write that down really quick. Hey, I have a question to ask. Yeah, I suppose. How many dots do you have? Don't know. Just added it. Yeah, I think that is general enough knowledge. Tick.
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, that's how it works. Adam Generator is saying, this system looks highly exploitable. It will be 100% exploitable by people that concentrate on rules. If you concentrate on story, then none of this actually matters. So, this system is not for everyone, very clearly. It's meant for cooperative storytelling and some semblance of standardization across the board, just so characters have something, so players have something to rely on if they can't think of something. That's all it really comes down to.
Okay, then that leads me to I guess more of a statement, not really a question, but so on the fly, I'm not gonna refer to my dots or my points in a skill. I'm just gonna roll with it, and I may end up rewatching the episode and realizing like I totally used the skill there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna log it and just run it by you and say, hey.
No, you don't have to run it by me. You just do it. Just
Sweet.
fucking do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all right, so you'll notice like right here on my name it says judge. And so what that is I just judge in the moment. The advancement of your characters is really up to you. And if you want to play a game of dots, this is not the system for you. If you want to be able to tell a story and have some basis of a framework, just in case you can't think of something yourself, then you take a look down your sheet and go, oh, I have 2 dots in that. Steve, I have 2 dots in history. Give me something. It's
Cool.
a fallback.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Anything else about the setting? Matt, you had tons of questions, man. Ask them all.
I got nothing. I'm just like, now it's just ideas for how to react to situations. So like I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, anyone else before we continue?
No, this is dope.
Yep.
You guys liking it?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty.
Be awesome.
Hey, I got to debut 2 new characters this week, so
Yeah, you did. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
All righty. Well, with that, I think it's okay to continue now. What do you say?
Yes.
let's do it.
You want to do it?
I'm all for it.
Okay.
All
All right.
Let me get into character. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, edgelord time.
Yes.
All right, my friends. Since players are currently using Sirenscape and the online player, turn down your volume. Here we go.
Oh God.
Something just occurred. A missile of some kind, an errant one, flew out of the sky in a streak of light and ended up blowing up the very farm you guys have. People immediately started running around. There, at some point or another, you began hearing something that sounded like a some kind of an alarm or a signal. Really? The sound effect is fucking SOS? Dude, it's like the 35th fucking century. Apparently, they still
Titanic.
they still use telegraphs. Holy shit, that's funny.
It means something different here.
Apparently, yeah. This is high tech. Welcome to the 7th age.
Yeah.
Man, the Syndicate, man, they just don't invest in R&D. Alrighty, so they just discovered Morse code. So there is some kind of a fuck. I have nothing here. Really? I have no sound effects for this. Either way, some kind of an alarm, because that is my best. Damn, what do you call those things? You have to crank them.
Air raid.
What was it?
Did you say accent?
No,
An
klaxon.
air raid or a klaxon.
A klaxon.
Klaxon.
Klaxon. Hold on. Is there a klaxon here? There has to be a freaking klaxon.
Tornado.
There has to be. I'd be very upset if Sirenscape does not have. Oh yeah, here we go. Holy crap!
Nice.
There actually is one. Wait a
Awesome.
minute. Is this a thing? That is not a klaxon. What the fuck? That's
Yeah, but
like,
it's cool though.
That's
Dude.
futuristic.
I'll take it.
yeah. You know what that is?
Terrifying.
That
though.
is really cool.
That's
That makes
fucking
me wanna
industrial.
just run.
That's
yeah,
industrial.
that's 7th age, right?
That's an industrial punk klaxon.
There you go.
All right. All
Red
right.
alert.
I like that.
It's an Atari 9000. All right.
Brave.
So.
Oh man.
Some kind of a signal gets blared out. You begin hearing instructions of scatter, scatter, all from the voice that had led you here in the very first place. The guy who had introduced it, the guy who looks like this, starts screaming out to everyone. You head outside. After the burst of that, dust is still beginning to settle. Off in the distance, you can still hear those explosions occurring. Were you guys, 2 of you were outside, just outside the door. Take a look in the northeast. 2 of you were still inside. Go around the clock. You guys decide whatever it is that you need to do. What are you doing?
I look around to see if there's anyone trying to put out the fire at the farm.
That's the farm itself is about it's about a half a mile away.
Oh
Yeah.
So no way to know if anyone's trying to do
No,
it. Okay.
well, I can tell you that you do not see anybody running towards it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am running in the opposite direction of the settlement.
Okay.
Via the farm. And I'll give you my exact reasoning if you would like.
I don't need reasons. Go ahead and roleplay. Any motives are meant to be, we only see things on the surface.
I would encourage others to do the same.
The world is yours, guys. Go ahead and roleplay. Take it from here.
Oh shit.
There's panic in the air. People are starting to run around. An alarm had been triggered, probably using up a little battery life that existed. What are you guys doing?
Alexis is just going to grab his gear, and he's preparing to run outside because he's not leaving anything of his possessions behind. So just gearing up.
Okay.
I go back in and grab my bag and then head off with Harlan because, so far as I know, he knows the terrain.
Okay. Looks like Daisy already bugged out. Probably already outside. When you guys exit the barracks, you come into the central area. You can see this guy. He's pointing people to a whole bunch of places. Nothing else has fallen in this area that may have been an errant missile, and in fact, about 10 minutes passes without further attack. But those explosions are still happening in the distance. It may have been wayward. But no one is returning back to normal. This entire camp, this entire settlement, they have now manned the walls with whatever, understanding that there's very little that they can do. Many people already left the settlement area and started heading up towards the hill area, not quite towards the farm because that just got hit. They're figuring that it would be something else, or they figure that most likely going to get hit again, so they don't go towards it, but they go towards a place with cover. Others are repairing any kind of a damage from debris fallout. That's it.
I'm going to look around for injured.
There's luckily not too many people. You see one person on the ground clutching their ankle, and you can see some blood has seeped out from between their fingers and from under their palm.
I'm going to check on their hand to make sure they're not bleeding too much.
No, it appears to be some shrapnel that got them right above the Achilles, heel. Something. It looks like a rock had cracked in half, and the sharpened edge of it sliced right into the area.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick bandage on this person. Remove the object. Sear the wound with my plasma rifle at maybe 2% power.
Shit.
And then wrap their wound and check on someone else.
Okay.
Did you shoot it off, or what did you do?
No, 2% power. I just carterized it.
Okay, so did you shoot it just to heat up the barrel, and that's what you used?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, so you shot it somewhere else at first, and then you just put the heated barrel next to it. Okay.
Thank you for reminding me to clarify. Yeah, I heated up the barrel and carterized the wound.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Alexis was just like, that's really efficient.
Everyone else seems to have been scattering around. Now 15 minutes, 20 minutes have passed by. The distant explosions have now stopped, and you can't see anything through the moonlight or what have you, but there's a hint of light just on the horizon. It's now coming towards 5 a.m. and people are up and about.
I'm going to go up onto the walls and try to look out across the landscape to see if I can see anything. I put one of my skills as marksman, and I assume that comes with some sort of tracking and, looking, far, like being able to see farther and notice differences in the landscape.
Sure.
So I'm going to just sort of scan the landscape and see if I can see anything that isn't desert that can tell me what might have happened and if it was actually Syndicate.
Sure. We'll assume that you have something like binocs on you.
It's got a scope, maybe? On the...
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. I was just about to say that. Yeah, there's a scope on the rifle.
Okay. Is it a powered scope?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, everything happens.
Not a worry, man, because I mean, this is all part of the whole the telling of the story is actually creating conflict, and the conflict in this case is your scope and your rifle are down to 58%
already. Crap.
So just an FYI, all right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, you begin taking a look around, and you look up across the wastes. You manage to zoom in on maybe one of the points where the explosions were, and you can kind of pick out. You have to switch into night vision. It's really, really difficult for you to pick it all out, but you can see that there are burning fires. You do not see anybody moving. And you're actually looking at this more through refraction than anything, so you're actually not getting a tremendous amount of details either. But
it's that that heat distortion.
Yeah, well, it's refraction of light over like through the atmosphere due to a curved plane. So yeah, you're not getting a lot of detail, but you are making out what could be structures, and yeah, it does kind of look like the heat coming up off of something. Like if you were to look out with a telescope directly out over the ocean towards the horizon, you would see that kind of the same kind of refraction effect. But you believe you see some structures there and some light. You certainly don't see enough details. Taking a look around, however, as you begin to pass your scope back and forth, you rapidly pass something that was moving in the desert. You begin to fixate on it, see if you can, and you quickly adjust.
How close is everyone to me, like near the wall?
I'm standing right next to you.
Okay, so I just, something's riled up out there. I just turned to you. So there's something riled up out there. It's moving fast.
You'd be riled up too if there was an explosion. Well, there we go. We're all riled up. Can you detect radiation?
No, not at my current power level.
It's a shame.
Why? What power level are you at?
I'm at 50-something% on all of my equipment here, and I don't think I'm getting recharged anytime soon.
And how does the recharge happen?
I would need to find a viable power source that I'm going to have to build one.
They didn't send you with some kind of generator?
They didn't send me.
Oh, right. Well, missiles have power sources.
Oh my goodness.
So does fire. And the unblinking eye above us.
That's a good point.
We're surrounded by power sources.
We need to build... Are you talking about solar panels? Those haven't been used for thousands of years.
Daisy, anything like that here? Using the sun to power something up?
I mean, we haven't done it in a while, but something Pops used to always dream of, so why not?
I can start converting my scope to detect radiation if someone can start building that.
Oh, sure. Let's just start building it here.
I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start. My shit's underground. I like the stuff below the surface, but...
Underground is better. Always better than this shit.
We have iron and acid.
What do we need? Just a light source? I heard something not great. Super duper.
Shit.
Everyone get towards the houses.
In the middle of the compound, you guys are out there on the wall in the middle of the compound. You see everyone freezes upon hearing something that I'm going to make much louder. This is what they hear. Something horrible. Something that means death. Rabbits somewhere outside of the wall, probably going away from the explosion area and coming towards anything else that might hold them.
What the fuck was that?
Those are rabbits.
Sorry. Aloxis, get cover. Van Deer, take the high ground and keep your eyes open.
What the hell's a rabbit?
They're like really mean puppies, like the ones that just bite all the time. You know, they're
What's
not
a
great.
puppy?
All I need to know is
Big dogs, but undisciplined. You know, like baby dogs. but
They're the
giant.
thing that will kill you if you don't kill it first.
Zooming in on the scope, Van Deer, you take a look back out there, and you quickly sweeping the area. You can see something that passed in front of the scope. You try coming in. You estimate one of those things about a mile away. However, those cries that were just heard were a little bit closer than that. You continue to scan around. You don't see anything, but then again, there are several obstacles in the way, mainly rock formations. They could be out there.
I mean, I set up a couple claymores over the past couple months, so depending on where they run, they might run right over one of them.
Talking about a mine?
Yes.
Oh,
It's a hobby of mine. I like to salvage, I like to scrap, but I also like to place little mines underneath the dirt outside of our walls. Everybody else knows where they are, but the rabbits don't.
I can appreciate that. Sometimes it's easier just to blow something up than it is to pick at it with a fucking pickaxe.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Definitely, for sure.
When
What
you
are the
guys are
conditions
done
if
braiding
you're-
each other's hair, I just want to remind you that you should find a corner, find a weapon, stay very quiet. And don't piss yourself because they can smell it.
All right, Harlan. All right. I'm going to pull out my bazooka.
Wait, what?
I have a bazooka. It doesn't work all the time, but I that's my sacred. That and my sledgehammer.
You have
nice.
It's filled with like shrapnel scrap pieces of nails and, you know, buttons from old clothes of the deceased and
Oh my God. All right. So what we're looking at, the whole clothes of the deceased. Dude, it's like one of those fucking t-shirt machines. Shaboom.
listen. All I'm going to say is I have 2 dots in metal scrapping and 2 dots in rocket and grenade launchers.
Oh my God.
So I've got a prized bazooka.
All right. You've got some stuff. How well made is it?
It's as well made as it can be out
If you were to
out
give me
here
a
in the wasteland.
if you were to give me a percentage,
It's significantly better than my wheelchair. So it's about in the 75-ish
Potrat
range.
just said 77%. He's like 77%. All right,
Yeah.
77% of the time this thing is going to work. Okay.
Yeah, and I have a bandolier full of like scrap bits of like metal and shit that I'm just stuffing in there. Like, okay, braiding hair, that's really cute.
But do you have a potato? Because that's what I'm expecting to be shot out of. It's a potato gun.
I could have had a potato, but they fucking blew up the farm. So no, we don't have potatoes.
Yeah.
God damn it.
While they're talking loudly and potentially attracting our demise, I saddle up directly next to the door, waiting to ambush the thing that has the eyes in the front and not on the sides of its head.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
growing like, very, very wary of the power level of my rifle, and I just sheath it behind my back. And I start looking around for any scrap metal that I can use as a, rudimentary melee weapon.
I hand Matt one of my extra knives, the one I don't like as much.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Not as Sharpie.
Yeah. And I point and I say, right there. And then
Something on the outside flies out of the sky. You guys can see it coming down across the sky, and it appears to be a piece of something on fire, tumbling as it goes through. The friction of the air, of the atmosphere itself, causing it to ignite. It has already gone, and with a loud, with a very soft but an incredibly distant bang, this thing then lands. Something just happened up there. Unsure what. Everyone else goes, okay, we don't know what that was. And they begin going at it. But then the worst begins to occur. Just as Daisy was out there by the wall talking about X, Y, and Z, and as Van Deer was just starting to come down off of the wall, something right there launched itself up against the wall. Launched it, and you can see the entire thing beginning to move back and forth against the weight of this thing. Flexible, not entirely sturdy. And certainly these walls are not going to hold against a rabbit for much longer. However, they ended up stopping, and you guys can hear the begin journeying back out. What are you guys doing?
Daisy, you said that there's underground?
Everything's underground. You just gotta look for it, and I'm gonna throw you one of my metal detector.
Which is powered by what?
It is powered by an energy that I researched a week ago that I don't remember today, but it's part of the Wikipedia history of the of the metal detector. The first one was the 1800s, and that's the technology I'm using. It's shit, but it works enough.
It works 12% of the time?
Yeah, about 12. Make it lucky 13 if you really want to.
Alrighty. May I oh my god. Okay, this is so fucked up. See, this is all part of the whole game development, right? Because I'm like, oh, players will equip themselves with everything.
No, I got two weapons and then a metal detector that doesn't work.
You have a fucking bazooka. That counts as 5 weapons.
Yeah.
Thanks for handing me your bazooka. It's really fucking sweet.
Nice.
Nah, dude, that's my fucking metal detector.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, when I threw it down, the disc fell off of the off of the shaft.
Oops.
It's a 13%er.
Alexis, what are you doing with the metal detector?
Looking for the on switch.
Hey, audience, can I have someone out there type in %D% or D100? Yeah, let's roll percentile dice. So you need to get a 1 through 12 in order for that 73. That power switch, it click, 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 click. It's loose. It's loose.
Yeah, dude, that shit's not working great. Maybe one day. I really just threw it to take out my sledgehammer and get ready.
Okay. After a while, the attacks do, in fact, subside. You guys are taking a look around, and, well, Potchpad, it had a 12% chance of working, So you want to get through a 1 through 12, but it's random, so you have no idea. The attacks have stopped. No one is willing to go outside the walls, not with rabbits out there. However, now several hours have passed by. It's a little bit, people still sketchy, but work has to get done. They begin looking around, not so certain that that it's going to be a real good idea to go out. But you can see people looking back and forth and kind of looking at each other as if to seek confidence in someone else to give them their confidence. It's a little bit on the difficult side, but they're looking for it. Winds begin picking up. Daybreak has now begun. What are you guys doing?
The plan was to travel today, no?
Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
What about the farm? They're going to be dead without the food. We should
There are
help take
people
care
here.
of that. Do they know how to take care of it?
Speaking of food, did somebody actually kill the rabbit?
No, I think it jumped off the wall and kind of bounded away.
No, we
It didn't
kill
really
it.
climb back up. Probably because
gonna-
of my bazooka. It was intimidated, right?
I'm gonna check the spot on the wall to see if it scratched itself on the metal and left a trail to follow. For the purposes of avoiding that direction.
We're going to say yes.
Okay. We're gonna avoid that direction.
And
That direction would happen to be south.
Aloxis
Were we headed south? I forget.
Yeah, we were heading south. We're supposed to head south.
Of course.
Well, darn.
So
Of course. Why wouldn't it, Steve? Why wouldn't it be south?
Hey, man, I'm just the world, you know? I mean,
Okay, yeah.
Aloxis takes a walk with Herlin and just to see where it grasped the wall, and just tries to get any scent or anything that he can like. So now he knows, okay, maybe I can smell it before it smells me.
You're looking for a... okay, so you're trying to use some, like a scent. We're going to say the winds are heading in your... we're going to say that they are heading from west to east. No, we're going to say that they are heading from east to west. And this is south. So it may carry your scent a little bit south, particularly as the winds buff it up against the hills and begin to turn just a little bit or eddy in that area. But you're not picking up on anything out there outside of the hot. The hot air is already beginning to burn up many of the smells, except for one. There's a oily thickness to some scent. It almost smells like fuel and molten steel.
I lay a comforting hand on Aloxis's shoulder and say, it'll definitely smell you first.
Maybe we want it to smell us first. You said that they cook that.
I
Here,
walk
right?
away sighing and shaking my head.
No. Hear me out. You said that they cook rabbit meat, right?
I'm completely ignoring him.
Okay.
I'll be down kind of within ear's range. They're faster than we are. I mean, we've got the advantage of having thumbs, I guess, but at the end of the day, they're fucking fast.
Right, but they smell you first.
They do. However,
Right. They smell you first. And if we smell like them, then they won't be attracted to us.
oh,
Or
like-
they'll be attracted to you for the wrong reasons. Either way, they
Listen.
will probably kill you.
Listen, if they want to make love, we'll get close and intimate. But I'm willing to take a chance. If they cook rabbit meat here, we can maybe disguise ourselves with their scent.
Are we just going to ignore the growling? I think we should focus.
What growling?
I'm not hearing any.
It's super windy, so
If we travel today,
That's me.
you're in charge of your own water. I can show you how to get there, but
that growling.
That growling.
perhaps
Got
it would be
it.
best to travel tomorrow.
Something just outside of the wall. Something there. You heard something. Unsure exactly what it was.
All right, we need to know. I need information. I go up the wall to see what's over there.
So the wall itself, we can say, is about 17 or so feet high. We're going to say maybe 3 meters or so, right? 4 meters. Hold on. Let me see if I can get an answer here from Alexa. Okay, it's about 5 meters or so, a little bit over 5 meters tall. So, you come up on the wall and carefully look down, and you can see something there. It looks up at you really quick, lets out some kind of a screeching roar, still way down there.
What's the size of this thing? What am I saying for size?
12 to 15 feet long, 5 to 7 feet wide. It does not look like a rabbit in that there is a giant head along with a muzzle and a row of backward-facing teeth. This thing looks a little bit odder. Shorter snout, thicker brow. It looks like a portion of its attack would be a headbutt of some kind, judging by a knot on the front of its head that is not quite a horn, but maybe evolutionarily speaking could be. Powerful claws in the front, but not the steel ones like the rabbit. Whatever this thing is 100% organic. And it doesn't appear overly hostile. It hasn't leapt up like the rabbit, but it does not look friendly at all.
But it looked at me.
It did. Its eyes are in the front of its head, indicating that it's a predator as opposed to eyes on the side of the head. A prey animal. Predator looking up at you and growled as if to acknowledge your existence, but also to dismiss it.
If I have 2 dots in survivalism, would I know what this thing is?
Yeah, you would. It's known as a shrieker. These things...
I hate it. Thanks, Steve.
They are infrequently seen at best, but they are in the area. They're pretty much everywhere. They tend to be more like very angry cows. They will eat on but they don't look like cows at all. They kind of look more like rabbits. They are definitely made for this area. However, your 2 dots are also going to tell you these things hate rabbits and eat them.
Ooh. So infrequent means within the last at least 20-some years I've seen one before with my new local history.
We're going to say, how many dots do you have in that? 0, right?
I have 0.
Okay, so...
but I've lived here my whole life.
Right. So we're going to say that you've heard about them. So give yourself a tick mark under a success for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how this works now?
Yeah.
And in particular, you put down like local.
I did local history.
Yeah, local fauna.
Okay.
History would be more society based stuff, I would say.
Well, I included the Battle of the Oasis into that.
Okay, so then local history. Then create a second skill called local fauna.
With pleasure.
See how this shit works?
Cool. Yeah,
you just start making shit up, man.
Fauna.
That's it, local fauna.
Yeah.
And that one is in local flora for the plants and other stuff like that. Like you have cactus juice, I would definitely put down like local flora because that would help you with the cactus side, with the
fuck
cacti,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
See how this shit works? So there you go.
Yeah. So they hate rabbits, right?
Yeah, you know, or you
All right.
believe you know them to hunt them down, and if rabbits have been pushed west from the from whatever that was up to the northeast, if they were pushed to your location, then these things would probably see that as a feast.
Where's Cal? Calvin is where?
Oh,
He's
Calvin.
he's on the wall.
Calvin's on the wall?
Yeah, he's on the wall surveying, I thought.
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, no, Calvin. No, I don't know. I don't know what Calvin was. I'm sorry. I was thinking Vandier.
No. Sure. Calvin is also up on. There's more than one wall.
Cool.
He happens to be on the one looking east, and he has a pair of binocs.
And is he close to our source of rabbit meat, uncooked?
Pickings have been slim. Past few meals in the camp have been that rabbit meat. He is not, however. The smokehouses and everything else all tend to be on the western side of the camp. He's on the eastern wall.
Okay. Don't die, guys. I'm gonna go head over there.
Wait, are you going to where they cook the meat?
I'm gonna go where the meat is waiting to be cooked. I don't think that these guys would like cooked meat. Just a tick.
I'm going with you. 100%.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Just to prevent any confusion, there is no uncooked meat on the outside of the wall. Calvin is on the wall looking east with a pair of binocs. All the smokehouses, etc., are on the western side of the camp.
Yeah, that's where I'm rolling. I'm gonna go grab some uncooked meat.
Oh, you're going out to the
smokehouses.
west. Oh, you're going to the
Yeah,
smoke. Okay, all
yeah.
right, cool. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's
So-
out there, and they divvy out rations, and they give you today's rations.
Yeah, so Alroxis and I are going to go and grab the meat. Yeah. Cool.
And we're going to need 2 additional servings
For who?
for Vandier and Herlin.
Oh, shit. Okay,
Daisy,
yeah.
Daisy, you know everyone is responsible to come and get their own food. Under no circumstances are extra rations ever handed out to anyone in anyone's name.
All right. I'll give the my uncooked rations to this creature. I'm good for a second, and then, I'll figure it out later.
Wait a second, you just walk outside and just go here?
No, I'm gonna throw it over the wall, man.
Okay, I need the details. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
Okay.
gotta go over the west side. I'm sure I gotta go over to like the west side. Gotta grab the stuff, so it'll take a minute.
Yeah, don't be casual about this. Okay, give us some details. All right,
so
what are you doing?
okay, so I'm going to the west to grab the uncooked rations for me, and Aloxis can get you can get yours. This is where we get our food. You can only grab your own. Can't share. Can't give it to anybody else. But so I'm using mine for this thing. Maybe it'll leave us alone if we feed it. I don't know. I'm gambling here.
I'm gonna go up to Calvin. Is he on the same wall as me?
No, he's on the eastern wall. You're on the southern wall.
Oh. How far is that from me?
About 100 feet. 150
Oh, okay.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a huge camp.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over to his part of the wall and climb up, and I'm gonna ask if I can look through his binocs.
No. And he says that without moving them. But he turns his head, looks over at you.
Mm-hmm.
They hit remembrance. And I'm looking at someone or something coming this way. I can't. No. Looks to be like a teen. Yep. Teen. We can expect them in a little bit. And he hands the binocs over.
All right, I grab them from him,
Okay.
and I look through, and using my view finding skill, I'm going to determine the distance and speed that they're coming at us. The distance from us and the speed that they're traveling.
The binocs dial in, and you can see that the battery meter is already beginning to flash. The binocs are like down to about 20%, actually 19%. You can see that whoever it is that's running, they're running barefoot, but they seem to be jogging at a pace, not because they are being chased. They're moving, but it's you estimate about 2 miles out right now, and then you lift the binocs up a little bit, look out on the horizon, and now you can see a clearer view of what they hit last night. You can see standing structures. You also see a lot of fire, and you see no one moving. That is about a full day's travel out, so quite some distance.
So this person has been like, I hand the binoculars back to Calvin, and I'm like, they've been traveling for several hours.
Yeah.
They're not going to make it here alive.
Yeah, they will. That's one of the messengers. That's what they do. That's their job. Hold on. No. He should make it. The good news is that is going to represent some news coming in from Remembrance. All right, hold on. Puts the binocs on the tether around his neck. Oh, you got your food. Good. Didn't know you needed it. Pat right on the back and exits the wall.
I'm up beside Van Deer, and I'm asking him if he thinks he could. Van Deer, do you think you could kill that screecher? It's a lot of meat. A lot of hungry people here soon.
There's a lot of meat, and there's a lot of people that would need to eat.
A lot of hungry people who would be grateful to have you around.
I was already thinking of a way to kill it, but I wouldn't want to entice more rabbits to come.
We're up here, it's down there. Heavy rock.
How fast can the rabbits move?
Pretty damn quick. I think that's the official.
Just damned quick.
Right, so
If we have the ropes ready and we get it inside the wall, they won't have time to swarm us.
Oh.
So the Shriekers are predators, like apex predators compared to the rabbits?
From what you gathered, yeah. Speaking of Daisy, you have your food, you're going up the wall.
Yeah, there's a little ramp that I've created for, scouting out.
Yeah, man, that makes sense.
Survey. So when Cal said your food, I handed it to let me see, hold on, Van Deer, sorry, and I'm gonna slap the uncooked rabbit meat right in your hands. No, man, not your food, but we could instead of killing it, feed it what it hunts and maybe have it kind of distracted and or like protecting us. I don't know. I've never done this before. But
you're trying to tame the Shrieker.
No. I don't want it to like do anything it doesn't want to do, but it's probably hungry and the rabbit left. So maybe if we at least satiate it for a minute, we can leave maybe, or the messenger can come in safely. I got to tell the messenger not to run over the claymores that I put out, because that will be bad.
This messenger has come into this area before from Remembrance, so...
so he knows the flags that I set up. Yeah. Cool.
Harlan was suggesting that we kill the creature in order to store the meat and feed the people of the town.
Whoa.
Who have just lost their farm.
Not a bad idea. If we can get predator scent, then we might be able to mask ourselves from the rabbits.
Feed the town and safely travel.
I mean, that's true. We could bathe in its blood like heathens, or we could use it as a guard dog while we go out for a couple days. It only
How
take,
long
like,
would you
4
suppose it
days.
takes to domesticate a creature?
You know much better than I do, Hurley.
Do I know?
I don't know.
Steve, how long it takes to domesticate a creature?
No one has.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It takes a long time.
Question.
You basically need to understand their language, and you have to listen to them a really long time.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but he didn't seem like... I mean, that thing's like 10 feet wide. If anything, it could definitely... I could reach over and pet its snout if it were to, like, stretch all the way up to the wall. And so far, it hasn't done that. It's just not really, like, friendly.
Yeah.
See?
It's
sounds
something.
really
Totally.
Great.
a
It brought a friend.
Second one showed up as well.
Okay, so...
This is because you fed it.
We didn't feed it yet. I gave it to...
But it smells the meat.
Gave it to Vantier. Exactly. So we can either... We have more inside. Like, there's more... That's all we eat is rabbit meat. So what's stopping it from coming in? So either we can... You're right. Kill it and bathe in its blood and then leave. Or we can protect... We can try to see if maybe it'll protect us for, like, a couple days.
There
The
is...
saliva probably contains more pheromones.
You are... you're Daisy.
Yeah.
You're on top of the wall, right? Talking to everyone?
Yeah.
How far do you estimate you are from this thing?
I think that if it were to stretch up all the way, if it wanted to with its paws, I could touch it. But I think 10 feet is like, there's a...
Well, the
if I
walls
really
are
tried.
17 feet high.
You said, okay. 5 meters. Great. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, it'd be intimate, just like Aloxa said. So maybe if I stretched a pickaxe all the way down, I could touch its little snoot.
Little...
What now?
Little snoot.
Yeah.
Daisy... So, Hurlin, are you gonna boop the snoot? Is that what you're gonna fucking do?
Periwinkle would boot the snoot.
Oh no!
Daisy's not gonna boop the snoot.
Okay.
Daisy would definitely, if Hurlin knows best, then Daisy would go with Hurlin's way.
Hurlin, this is one of the things that you picked up about Daisy in the past, this nonchalant manner, and nothing seems to affect Daisy at all. One of Daisy's characteristics is to downplay the severity of any particular situation. Hurlin, you necessarily have taken the opposite route and gone, no, this is the reality. This is all evidenced by your current roleplay of each of your characters. Having said that, the most recent roar that was emitted by that thing and then another one come joining has caused other things outside to respond. Hurlin, go ahead.
Where there are two, there are three. Where there are three, there are too many to fight. You don't have enough claymores, Daisy. We don't have enough claymores.
No, good point. So
Eating them is not a good idea.
I have a plan.
What's up?
I have 3 grenades with me, but those are the only ones I will ever have on this planet. But considering the situation, let's jam a grenade in the meat and then use your bazooka to fire it away from the camp so that they chase the meat and potentially explode.
That's a good point, because if we were to throw a grenade at the bottom of this primitive wall, it probably wouldn't be a wall anymore. So, Hurlin.
And the grenade be remote activated.
It's a timed. They're all timed.
Yeah, it's just got to go through and out.
I approve of this plan.
But your bazooka can fire, I assume, a 2-pound grenade, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like not the most reliable, but that's because I stuff it with like nails and buttons and all that bullshit. If it was just one grenade, it would probably be fine.
And rabbit meat.
Yeah.
No, it'd be fine. It'd be fine. Just backdraft area clear. Got that shit on my shoulder. We're good. You know what could go wrong? If anything, I'll throw the bazooka and we'll just fix it later.
The people will be grateful for the bounty of meat.
I mean,
But now we have more than one.
yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm totally
hoping
cool
it's
with
a
that.
very large grenade.
Well,
I'm not a
that-
dog person, so
You're expecting it to take out both of those monstrosities.
That's why I could only get.
I'm
3 out.
expecting it to take off at least one and to scare at least one.
that's
Do they
cool.
scare?
And
Not
do
necessarily logical.
and are either the rabbits or the shriekers scavengers by any chance?
I'm hoping this. I would know this, actually. I think the scent of the shriekers does, in fact.
Repel?
Because they're the apex predator, is something that the rabbits would avoid.
Not if they're scavengers.
We're all scavengers, Lou. We're all scavengers, Alexis. Aloxis.
Aluxis.
Alexis.
Is it a
An
you
We're all
now?
scavengers now.
I'm more of a scavenger than they are. I think we could do this. We could do this. It's totally fine.
You also know that if you attack the apex predator, that the apex predators will most likely attack you.
I mean, I think it's a great idea, but let's make a modification, shall we?
Sure.
Mhm.
You're gonna wrap the grenade in meat.
Yes.
Why don't you just feed it to one of them, and then it's pretty much a guaranteed kill?
Yeah. I was considering that as well, but I was thinking about the wall getting damaged.
Well, we could. Have you seen my arms? I've got a pretty good arm. I could throw it out
Yeah.
pretty far.
Yeah, if you can
Yeah.
get it at least like a few meters out, then you'll be totally fine. I'm not saying that I've done it before, but I've totally done it before. So if you can get the grenade out there, get the meat out there first, have them go towards the meat, and then wait a couple seconds with the grenade. How much of a delay are the grenades? Like 3 seconds, 4 seconds?
6 seconds.
Great. So wait like 3 seconds, throw it, then you'll be fine.
Oh, I was gonna wrap it with the meat and just throw it all as one.
Sure, you could do that too. That'd be great.
Wait till he eats it. Once
Yeah.
he gets it down his gullet, set it off.
Yeah, I trust your arm much more than I trust my bazooka. It's cool as shit, but I trust you. I'm cool with this.
I don't
I'm gonna
trust
take the
this
meat.
game. I don't.
I'm gonna take the meat from Vandir and slap it the same way I did right into Aloxis's
Good old-
hands.
Slap.
Yeah, just cold, cold meat.
Set the timer and then throw.
Oh, you're gonna set the timer.
Okay.
You-
I
But just
whispered
turn
to
the cap.
Vandir, if the second one attacks us, your weapon is our best bet.
Yes.
If you
I'm
throw
aware.
it, if you
And
throw
then
it,
I slink into the shadows.
if you throw it in that direction, see where that little blue piece of fabric is? If you throw it in that direction, you might hit a landmine at the same time. So you'd get maybe more of a little bit
Okay.
more coverage.
That's some
All
good
right.
thinking, Daisy. All right, we got to do this before another one shows up.
A twofer. All right, let's do it.
All right.
I
Bathe in its blood, let's go.
I notify a team of villagers to be ready to haul that meat inside the walls before it can attract scavengers.
There's rabbits out there?
No, there's delicious,
Screechers.
delicious candy called Screecher meat.
Why are they
And
not
if you get it,
They're attacking
We'll
Screecher.
all survive a lot longer. I actually have points in deception, so I don't exactly say delicious, delicious candy, but
You gotta roleplay this, man. You got you
okay, so
are
I have
your
2 points in
character.
deception. So what I say is, the beast out there,
Uh-huh.
it's better. It's better than rabid. It's the most delicious thing you've ever had.
Hey, the trader's saying that the meat out there is a hell of a lot better than the rabbits. All right. What do you need us to do?
We need to get it in the walls quickly after we dispatch it.
Why do I talk like a redneck farmer?
I don't
You
know.
are, Randy. You
But
are.
it makes me trust you even more, my friend.
Okay.
Randy, make sure that Cletus is ready to grab that meat.
Cletus, get ready to grab my meat.
Here goes Randy and Cletus always grabbing each other's meat.
I've
Classic Cletus and Randy.
gotta write this shit down. All
Classic.
right.
Andy and Cletus are now recurring characters.
There you go. I kept it.
I
That's
really
our
hope
new
so.
Bob.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know what? Sure.
It'd be fucking great.
It'd be awesome. Yeah, Randy and Cletus.
You know, it's a post-apocalyptic future.
They're
I think we'd be
newlyweds,
beyond
man.
that by this point.
Like,
you know?
fucking let them live.
Might be.
Look, there are only so many bunks, and it's really cold at night. Okay.
They've
Wow.
got
Moving on.
The local Airbnb.
Moving on.
Alright.
They're the only local Airbnb. That's awful.
Any?
So
Jesus.
I charge the grenade
Okay.
and then hand it to Aloxis.
Okay.
Right.
You get
I used
it's
to-
it's
I used to-
charged.
I used to
The
do
grenade's
this.
charged.
I used to do this as a recreational
Okay,
activity.
throw it now. Throw it now. Tell us later. Throw it
It's
now.
on. The grenade's it's going.
Okay, throw it now.
And you guys see me
No,
do
throw it now.
You have 3
I'm
seconds
sorry, is
left.
Aloctis gonna die every episode?
All right, you just threw it. I know
Okay,
exactly.
throws it.
That's gonna be the recurring character right there. And
He's
after a
uncanny.
second, that thing goes off. You see one of them right near it, looks back up at the wall, opens.
didn't-
Oh, it did nothing to it.
Good.
I should have fed it like actual food. It
It
didn't hit a
starts
claymore?
running towards it, and it begins lowering its head. Impact in 3,
Bazooka!
Two.
Plan, villagers, don't go
One.
outside the walls.
My
Oh,
shrapnel
okay.
All right, I jump off the wall.
And just as you go jump,
I get out of its way.
all right, just as you jump off the wall, there is a. The wall itself, it's like you could see a poof of hole, or not a hole, a huge bulge occur where its head hit the base of the flimsy tin roof kind of wall. It is not good at all. You could see it's already hit it once and unfazed. Turns, walks around 180, turns back around, and starts charging again. Impact in 4.
Bazooka
3.
out. It's
take-
shooting down. I've got like 10 feet out.
You shoot
It's-
down?
Yeah, it's just nails and shrapnel and shit.
Audience, may I please have exclamation point D percentile for this no dice rolling game?
Yep.
I mean,
is
come
my
on.
good
No. We got to get the audience involved in here somehow.
Which
Exclamation
one
point
is
it?
D
What-
percentile.
I think it's my
77?
77.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
my
77%. I'm just
Come
waiting.
on.
Hey, come on, anybody, type in exclamation point D% or D100.
Oh wait, let me log into my other
Also-
Twitch account.
No,
Oh,
you're not allowed to roll,
so-
motherfucker.
Also 2 dots.
Yeah, you'll put 2 dots. How many dots?
That's my 2 dot grenades and rocket launchers.
Okay, that's your 2 dots. Oh, here we go. 5%. Dude, caffeinated Viking kicks
Oh,
it in.
no.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh
Some-
gosh.
This is. Oh man, this is not going to be good at all.
What?
All right.
Oh, we
Wait,
wanted it to
I
be
thought 5
above.
was good.
Yeah, I thought.
It has to be below 77. It's 77% of the time it works.
Yeah.
So
So it has to be below.
Oh.
Great.
right. So you got it. Anyway.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, you go to fire this
misread
thing,
that.
and all of a sudden, yeah, you go. It lands in the area. 2 dots. We're gonna say this thing. Let's see here. It's an apex predator. I have to make this shit up. The shrieker looks at it, sees it coming, leaps up into the air, like avoiding it, like dodging it, turns, lands, and sees it land about like 5 feet beyond where it was. Dirt lifts up into the air into like a small mushroom cloud where the explosion is. And you see this thing with the fallout just landing like a pitter-patter of pebbles and rocks and shattered shit all over the place. It looks up, looks at the wall, and as the dust clears, you can see a couple of nails sticking out of it. Others begin to approach as this one looks at the wall with a snarl.
Oh boy.
And begins walking close, its pace beginning to pick up.
So these guys are coming from the north?
No,
And
the
we
south
have to go
wall,
south?
southern wall. The messenger
Okay.
is coming in from the northeast, heading
Okay.
southwest.
Okay. Wouldn't it be ironic if his message read, "Watch out for shriekers coming from the south"?
With that, he begins to pick up pace, going to hit the wall in 3.
I'm still stuffing.
2,
I don't think I'm gonna make it in time, but
1.
Maybe we
stuffing.
should go north
Right
instead.
before he hits the wall.
Yeah.
Right before he hits the wall, I take aim with my rifle and I put it all the way up. I turn the dial all the way to 100% power. It's gonna burn through the last of the battery, but I need to take this thing down.
Unfortunately, you did that a little bit too late. You and she are still up on the wall, right? So you start raising that thing up. It was ready to collide before you were able to do it. So this is one thing that we just noticed about the game. And opportunistic stuff, we have to learn to think ahead. That includes any of the creatures too.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
That's
So
fine. I
this-
wasn't gonna be able to restock my bazooka in 3 seconds,
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it is what it is.
but I'll take all 3 seconds to restock my bazooka. So
Yeah, okay, you do that. With that, this thing starts coming about. Let me see if this is, I don't know if this is a good sound effect. Nope, not really. It's something's, here, let's try this one. That works! Right into the wall. Daisy, describe what begins to happen as the wall itself begins to buckle. It turns around, runs back to where it was, lets out another roar, and starts heading back in 3, 2, 1. But what are you doing first?
So I
Oh no.
the piping that goes up the side where
Yeah.
my ramp was. So
Yeah.
the ramp is starting to like collapse underneath.
Yeah.
The wall, because it's like the vertical tin roof, is starting to like where the seams are starting to cave in.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna kind of like reverse it as I am, and very very like awkwardly so. I might fall, but I'm still trying to stuff the bazooka, because if I can't use that, I'll use my sledgehammer.
Okay, so you're concentrating on the bazooka rather than anything else. You're using both hands for the bazooka.
I think I unlock the brakes, so I'm like going back. I'm going
so you
backwards.
go click and then.
Yeah, I was like, okay, bye. As I'm doing that, I'm just stuffing.
All right,
cool.
we're gonna say okay, so this is how the rules are going to work. We're gonna say, oh man, this is like some Hollywood heroism shit going on here. We're gonna say that is a 3-dot action. Okay.
Okay.
You're stuffing the bazooka, so you have no hands on it.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's going to make it 3 dots. Does anybody else want to aid this? Now, Van Deer, you said that you were also up on the wall. You lifted the gun. It hit. So that caused you to jerk around a little bit, but you can see her, Daisy, in the wheelchair, about to go down. Do you want to take any actions to prevent harm?
She's rolling back down the ramp, right?
Yeah, or backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've also been in my wheelchair my whole life, so I don't know how that affects as opposed to being injured recently. But
Right, so, well-
I trust my chair.
Yeah, we're going to say it's a little bit on the fluid side. On the other hand, the ramp itself is somewhat weakened from the
going.
recent crash.
Yeah.
And considering that this thing is now about to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it again, running. What are you doing?
Well,
I'm gonna fire. I'm
Okay.
already charged.
Yeah.
You got it. You managed to charge up. Holy shit. How many dots do you have in that?
I was gonna put 4 in that because it's my main.
You can only have up to 2 for a starting character.
I misread. So I'd have 2 then because I just started.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, man. You go to. Oh boy, let's see here. All right, let's see what happens. You go to fire it. It is it is rather surprisingly quiet. All it is fucking plasma. You shoot it out. Boom. You let that thing go. You're starting to aim at it. You have a 2. It has a 3 on its dodge. What are you gonna do? 3.
I'm gonna
2.
aim for its neck area to try and see if it tries to dodge away. It'll probably go towards its middle of its head.
It's unfortunately, yeah. It's you managed to shoot. The crashing into the wall did not help you at all. Kind of weakened it. As you go to aim it, the wall itself starts giving out a little bit, and just as you pull the trigger, your rifle just got moved away a little bit as the creaking metal begins to collapse under you. This entire southern portion of the wall, about a 15-foot stretch, if it attacks again, is not going to do you any good. We're looking at 3 forward dodge so far. You have a 2 on the rifle. That's not going to work.
Okay.
Now, at this point, just as a quick reminder of the mechanics of the game, to be fair, if anybody here wanted to conduct the equivalent of like an aid action or something like that, go, yeah, you know what? Hold on for a second. I'm going to try to compensate for X, Y, and Z. Then you might be able to add to it and then give him the 3 dots that he needs.
I'm just going to yell out, why don't you aim for one of the claymores? And as Aloxis is saying that, he vacated the wall because he wasn't expecting it to hold.
Right.
So he's somewhere down towards the bottom of the ramp. So he's running back up the ramp because he sees Daisy rolling backwards and is going to grab that chair, and he grabs the pickaxe and he's ready to like nail it into the wall, and hopes that like if the wall comes down, at least I can hold her before she hits.
Oh, dude, this is some epic shit going on here. All right. So here's the sequence of events. This thing comes, hits the wall a second time, weakening the structure. Just before that, plasma rifle started to go off, and then unfortunately, the jerky motion caused the shot to miss. Also, it managed to dodge out of the way. The wheelchair now going backwards. Lox runs up the ramp, grabs the pickaxe, slams it into the wall, a leather thong or a chain or something like that, holding your hand to the handle, we'll say. Whatever it is, maybe it's just a strong grip. You manage to slam that pickaxe in. The entire wall begins to drop. The whole thing, a creaking and buckling of metal, exposing the entire camp to the southern side, begins to go down. The pickaxe still locks in. Your left hand locks manage to grab onto the wheelchair, and as the entirety of the whole thing begins slipping around, dude, you're like freaking Captain America holding onto this wheelchair, preventing it as the ramp itself disappears from under. You redirect the energy of everything into a circular motion with a clatter. Probably a hell of a lot better than what would have happened if you didn't do that. With a clatter, the wheelchair and Daisy land on the ground. Daisy, are you buckled in?
I mean, like, no. I just probably not. I'm up and like I'm fixing shit all the time. I'm probably climbing up with my arms whenever I can.
Okay,
probably
so
not buckled in.
So you are ejected from the chair. Lox has the chair in hand. So our current status is Daisy is down on the ground directly in front of the wheelchair. Lox is holding onto the wheelchair and now beginning to settle down, if not just hanging from a pickaxe jabbed into the wall, which itself is now buckled, kicking Lox's body out just a little bit. Lox, with that heroic action, you manage to land on both your feet with a wheelchair and a pickaxe, one in each hand.
Am I stuck?
Yeah, you're stuck there, but you managed to put a foot on. You could probably put a foot on it later. However, we do have to deal with the issue of Vandir. Vandir, you were up there trying to get that shot, trying to get that perfect shot. When the wall collapsed, you ended up falling. Do you have any skills that would allow you to do like the equivalent of a cat fall or anything?
Yeah, I'd say it just would come with the military training that I've received. That's under like I just have the I don't even know what to call it.
Combat
It would
roll.
just be
Combat roll, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything they teach you in the military.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's what it is.
Do you have any dots in that?
I'd have 2, I believe, because it comes with marksman.
Okay, cool. Oh, I would say combat roll and marksman are 2 very different things.
Well, I just mean it's taught during the military training. Both of them were.
Yeah, I think military training itself is just too broad of a term, considering hand-to-hand combat and rifling are very different things. Or
would we dodge?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm using for the shrieker. Is something equivalent to dodge, but you can also put down like a tumble action or a tumble dodge or something. I think dodge is vague enough where we can play with that.
How about something like athletics?
Because that's too encompassing. Because there's definitely a difference between jump and tumble,
Okay.
yeah, and climbing. You know. Alrighty. How many dots would you have in that then?
Probably 1.
Okay, no. That's fine. So, as the wall begins to fall down, you're holding onto the gun. You manage to swap hands using your dominant hand to grab onto whatever and try riding this thing down. A jab of metal manages to get you in in your right calf, but not so horrible that it's going to maim you. But you do manage to use your skill in order to jump down, tumble out of it to some degree, but you do notice a sharp pain in your right calf. You'll need a little bit of patching up after this, but for the time being, you're still good. The only problem is you landed where the wall used to be, and 20 feet from you are 2 shriekers. Outside, looking at you and everyone else. Herlin, before anyone else answers, where are you in relation to the party?
I'm not a brave man. I admire what these fine individuals have done for each other, certainly, and laud them for their attempts to stave off the inevitable. However, Herlin knows that the best way to avoid a shrieker, and he really did think that explosive was going to be more effective, and is regretting that thought as we speak. But he knows the best way to survive a shrieker is to avoid a shrieker. And so he actually is dragging Daisy as close to a section of wall as he can, so that they are out of the way. He knows that shriekers don't have the best vision, and he has already counted Van Deer among the dead. You know.
Oh my God!
Damn.
As for Loxus, I didn't know him very long either. He seemed like a really wonderful person.
All right, well, to be clear, Lox is holding onto the wheelchair and actually kind of lets that go, and he's trying to work at his pickaxe, trying to take it out of the wall.
Probably gonna put me in the chair, man.
So
I put her in the chair then.
Thank you. This is my home.
And then I get the freak out of Dodge. I am...
Herlin, as you do, you start running back into the camp, trying to find some sort of cover against those things that are out there. The 2 shriekers looking at everything just as the dust begins to settle. Here's the picture. Van Deer, there, tumbled out of the fall of the wall. It was only a 17 or so foot drop, and even then it was kind of guided by the wall itself. Van Deer manages to tumble out of it, avoiding the vast majority of the damage. Right calf a little bit on the damage side, but not so horrible. And 20 feet away from 2 massive shriekers that are just beginning to pace back and forth. Also, as the dust clears from the shriekers' point of view, we see Lox holding on to the wheelchair, stabilizing it, as Herlin takes up Daisy and puts it in the wheelchair. The 4 of you are there. But the nightmare isn't yet over.
Oh, wonderful.
You guys see coming out of the sky and actually You all follow the Shrieker's gaze up. Both Shriekers look up to the sky. What are you doing?
Looking at the sky.
That's when another blast of light comes down out of the sky, and immediately the northern portion of the camp utterly destroyed. The missile itself ended up taking out most everything. With that, those Shriekers then turn around and they start running further south. The northern portion of the camp gone. And with that, another blast of light coming down out of the sky, hitting off to the northeast. Missiles coming down out of it. Whatever the fuck these things are, they are destroying this area. What are you guys doing? I give you all 5 seconds each. I'll call on you by name. You have only 5 seconds to describe your actions. Herlin, you're up.
I am getting away from the camp and into cover.
Okay, yeah, you try to find a place down in the southeast quadrant. It's probably maybe about 50 feet away. That could be probably where you were going anyway. Daisy?
Completely opposite direction of where the missiles and the Shriekers are.
That would be east, probably along with Herlin himself,
Yep.
which has found his way inside of a building of some kind. Lox?
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm just following these guys. They know the lay of the land. I don't.
Okay,
So,
yeah, man, you got it. Lox, you see where those two are going, and Daisy is like, boom, she's zipping along, not a problem at all. And Vandir, what are you doing?
I'm with them away from the missiles, please. Let's get out of here.
Okay, so the four of you managed to find yourself in a shack just as another one hits the ground again, and then one last one. After 10 or 15 minutes, just as pebbles stopped raining down out of the sky, a deathly silence falls over everything. Small trickles of dust filter in through light rays being let in by the shack that you happen to be in, indicating it's still daylight at least. At least the sun hasn't fucking exploded. But you do not hear a single sound outside. What do you do?
I think it might be time to travel south.
I think so too.
Well,
Gather what water you can, what food you can. Walking.
we shouldn't check for survivors? I mean, Calvin, Randy, Cletus, the others. There might be survivors.
You should be very quiet while doing it.
That's never happened. I've been there my whole life.
Never.
Even the Battle of the Oasis, that was out there. Nothing that loud's ever happened. If there are survivors, I'd fucking count my lucky stars. I'll go out there. But I'm assuming we're the survivors.
Aloxis, do you know how to bandage a wound?
I do.
I'm asking Aloxis.
Yeah.
Yeah, why, you hurt?
No. Then you can look for survivors if you know how to bandage a wound. Otherwise, what's the point? We got lucky.
Safety in numbers.
All right. If they can carry their own water, they can travel with me.
I'll go with you, Aloxis. Just I'm gonna need a minute in there anyways.
I go out and I survey the surroundings just to sort of get a sense of whether this whole conversation was pointless.
Sure.
I'll follow Harlan.
Okay. You open up the door with a forced creak and maybe a good shoulder lean against it, against now the misshapen shed, you manage to head out. The larger structure that was put over the shed seems to have taken the majority of the blast. Twisted forms of steel and certainly lots of dust everywhere. Pebbles still falling here and there, some sliding down what used to be a roof and is now a wall. Winds picking up, carrying the dust a little bit further away. When it's all done, you see in front of you, by about 30 feet or so, what seems to be a hand. You see over there a splatter of some red substance with tatters of fabric pinned up against walls. You walk out a little bit more, trying to take this in first, quickly glancing down to the south to see if any of those shriekers are there. No, they vacated. But what used to be the northern portion of SA 539 is no longer there. Nor are the people. A crater, the only thing that remains. 3 of them, to be specific.
There's no one here.
No? But we can scavenge for other stuff that might be useful.
In a decimated crater?
Here's how you cross the desert. You keep your head covered so you don't get the sunstroke. You keep your canteen full to start with and ration your water the whole way. You do not go to the bathroom in the desert. They will smell it.
Well, that and it's also fluid.
You do not
body.
travel at night. They'll hear you.
Not at
They'll
night.
see you. You travel during the day. At night, you keep warm and very, very quiet. You don't need much to cross a desert, except the will and the luck and the knowledge. There aren't tools to help. A good canteen, something to keep the sun from burning you. A blanket for warmth at night. Travel light. Everything you carry will weigh heavily out there.
As Herlin's words begin to pierce the air around you and are seemingly carried away by the winds, the dust now blown away, you look around. SA 539 is no longer, and with it, about 190 lost souls. You 4, for whatever reason, managed to survive. And then, one of you, Vandir, off to the northeast. There's a creaking of metal, something like a portion of the wall that falls over, makes a loud crash. Hello?
Hello?
Somebody there? Hello?
Somebody's alive.
See?
I
Told
slink
you.
into the shadows.
Noted.
Oh my god. So I go over and try to get the piece of metal off of this person.
Do you recognize the voice, Daisy?
No, this isn't one of ours. I don't think.
Alexis puts an arm on Vandier's arm, like he's not tall enough to reach your shoulder, so.
Vandir, your intention noble. The dust cloud now blown away. You can see somebody is actually standing on the fallen wall. He's kind of pushing, like wiping his hands off. It is the same person you saw in the scope, or with the binocs.
Oh, the messenger.
Hello?
What word from remembrance?
Are you head over towards him, I'm assuming?
Yes, yeah.
He comes over to you and he stops and picks up something unidentifiable, but kind of, you imagine it would be accompanied by a slurping sound. Puts it down, looking around. Hi. He comes close. You can see, very much like Daisy, where the dirt has collected all around their goggles on his head, loose fitting clothing, pair of good shoes. He's worth a lot if he has good shoes. Hi. Well, I was coming here to tell you that remembrance is gone. Blue sky returned.
Well, now here is gone too, so...
Yeah.
So it was blue sky.
Blue sky returned. After the explosions, there were forces that were coming down around the perimeter. As soon as the explosion stopped, the forces started moving in. This guy looks like a slightly tall, maybe 5'11", 6 foot or so, about 160 centimeters or whatever. He's looking fairly muscular, a little bit of growth on his face, gnarled brown hair underneath a wrap of some kind, scarf around his neck. Are you all that there is?
Yeah.
We're at...
There's nothing left, guys.
He sits down in defeat.
I offer the man a sip from my canteen. He just ran all the way here, guys.
It's all... I carry my own water. Thank you.
Do you know it was a test and he passed. Do you know the way south?
Yeah, down the 56 and 59, 33, which way?
Yes. Anywhere. Anywhere but here. There's nothing here.
They may be targeted next, for all we know.
I don't... They brought with them someone... This was a person, not human, was wearing a long brown coat down to her ankles, wearing boots too. She wore spectacles. Her hair was tied back in a bun, and she was with some armored guards. She came in last night before the explosions, and nobody knew who she was. She was asking questions of everyone. Had they seen this or that or the other thing? I don't know what they were looking for. But she left 1 hour before the explosions. Upon the first explosion, I was told to come to here. They're looking for something. I don't know what. But when I stopped for a moment to look back at remembrance, the only thing that I saw were troops moving in. I think they hit you to prevent any kind of ideas of you going there.
And they almost succeeded.
They hit hard. We haven't seen them in 17 years. I don't know why. They want something with remembrance, and I don't know what exactly it is. And Sorry, I do not mean to be rude. Yes, I can help you down to the south. I have nowhere else to go now, too.
If you carry your own water, you can travel with us.
As the way should be. Yes, I carry. Pulls out 1, 2, and slings them back into his coat. Where are you going, and what are your names?
I am Herlin. I've walked these sands many years.
I've seen you around. Good to finally meet you. What about you in the chair?
Daisy Nuke. Been here my whole life, but I guess time for a move.
I put a hand on Daisy's shoulder and say, it was a shithole anyway.
Yeah, but it was my shithole, Herlin. You know that.
I know.
I haven't seen you two before. Who are you?
I'm called Vandir. I just arrived.
Oh, you were there in the last transport?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the transport coming in. And you? Looking up.
I'm Aloxus.
My name is Rodrigo. Nice to meet you. And we will pick this up in time.
Fucker. You fucker. Why would you do that?
I knew it.
Come on.
Jesus Christ.
As always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And stay adorable. Hang out for the credits.
Yep.
We'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.